Gamers and gamerettes, welcome back to Manta Cup. Day 2, baby. Last day, or yesterday was day 1. We are back. I'm Dessa, being joined by Hacks, and this time our matchup, not as many games as yesterday, unfortunately, but today our matchup is going to be Beast Team Esports versus Snek Pack Hacks. We are back, baby.
We are back. We got my boys in Beast Team for the content. My boys in Snek Pack with the gameplay. We got it all covered, baby. We're back again. Oh man, it's gonna be
Definitely.
nice. I
Should
wonder what they're
should
gonna
be
be
good
cooking for
games.
draft. Are they gonna be first picking Yasuo again? That is the question. I
Do you
do
want
hope.
them to first pick
I
Yasuo?
would love Beast Team to first pick Yasuo again. And then I would kind of love for Snake Pack to have a counter draft, and then they lose game 1, and then they do something spicy game 2.
I mean, it's gonna be best of threes, so
This is best of threes.
there is some room for experimentation if you wanna
Yeah,
go for it.
exactly. Now we have some time for the teams to actually have counter drafts. I think we're actually going to get some different drafts, hopefully, in these types of series because you can both watch the teams, see what they've played in best of ones. Although I don't know how much you can take away from that since it is best of ones. You can still see like trends, I would say. And then
Yeah,
you can prepare more specific drafts for the team you're facing. And they've had, well, okay, they haven't had a ton of time because games went pretty late last night, but still, you can do a little bit of work now in the morning. Maybe they have some specific drafts or bans they for these specific teams. Did Beasts and Snek ever play in the group stage?
that's a good question. That's a good question.
I'm gonna have a
I
look.
I can fact check. I I can indeed fact check. I
Don't think they did.
believe they didn't.
No, I also believe they didn't. So they are unfamiliar with each other.
Yeah,
I am pretty sure. So we're gonna have to see two teams facing each other for the first time. Fresh ban is a bit
yeah.
specific.
This
I
is
actually
gonna
don't
be
remember
exciting.
a fresh game from Snakeback. We only saw one game from them for our side like yesterday. So
I
But
think Thresh is one of those champions where if you're going up against someone who's like really good on it, I think it is really scary. So it is
yeah,
just like a target ban coming out from these Team Esports. You do see the Ziggs and the Jarvan, both some champions that we've already seen played yesterday. So kind of not surprising bans. And the Orianna first pick doesn't surprise absolutely anybody.
no, that is a very standard meta pick. Syndra still open. It's very possible they just take Syndra here. They're happy with the trade. It's a very typical mid lane control mage trade. When Hui gets accepted into the tournaments, it might be a bit different because then you have a third control mage, and Hui is looking pretty decent. So I'm not sure how teams are going to prioritize between those three mages. They do pick up Caitlyn as a first pick, so they're looking for a strong ball. And Vi, they just go
Oh,
for jungler and ADC off the bat. They don't care about mid. They might be cooking a bit special, a special pick in mid in that case.
I mean, that's the Arcane special, no? The Caitlyn Vi immediately?
Oh yeah, that's true. That's Arcane special.
That's the
Forgot the Arcane
Arcane
combo.
special. Now we roll in the Jace. Oh, it's
More Arcane.
more Arcane.
They're
Wait,
gonna
that's Jinx
counter
from
pick with
Arcane.
Arcane. They're gonna counter pick with Arcane.
You know, I respect it. I respect it.
If they pick
What do you
Jace,
want
it's
to
really good.
see? What do you want to see with this Jinx? Hopefully. What do you think would be some good picks here?
It's already pretty fine. Like they have Orianna for the supports. I think they just need to pick up like a solid engaged jungler that's good against Vi, I would say. Maokai is open. I don't know how the jungle matchup is. Maokai would be fine, for example. You have like a tank, you have kind of engage, most of the things you need. Jarvan would be better. Wukong is completely fine. I'm
Yeah,
wondering if Snake is going to pick up Gnar. I know they've been favoring Gnar for Cyber top, and that could be a reason why they didn't pick up a mid. No, it takes it. Okay.
I mean, it's a general response we've seen to Orianna, the two ball ladies in the mid lane. It was gonna be, I feel like, the Luluban coming straight off the bat just because of the Jinx and the sort of the appeal you can provide with the hyper carry. Jinx generally tends to prefer enchanter supports. Although there are some engage options you can still go for that are open. Things like the Alistar, for example, something we've seen. Things like the Leona are still open. Nautilus is a really good one as well. Can be paired up with the Jinx. So there are still a lot of champions in the support pool that are very playable and very much open still.
Definitely. They're banning out a lot of the enchanters as well. So Renata and Lulu taken off the table. So Renata, I would say, one of the better supports for Jinx. You really can go extremely hard when you get the reset, and you don't have to fear going down because you get to live again. So most good supports from enchanters taken off. So it might be an angle to go for an engaged support, like you say, and maybe a more aggressive pick at top lane.
Yeah, definitely. And it is gonna be counter pick on the side of Snack Pack. Keep in mind, you do see them hovering and engage support at the moment. Doesn't really surprise me considering they've already got the Vi, they've got the Cinder. They're going for a pretty aggressive draft here. I gotta say, Caitlyn plus the Leona in the bot lane. This is gonna be, I feel like, a lot of damage coming out from the Snack Pack draft.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I love the Leona. I think I would have preferred to see something like a Seraph or similar to try and punish a bit harder under turret. But Leona, completely fine. It works pretty good. You get the stun, you get the traps. It's not the worst thing.
Tom
They could
Kench.
have taken Nautilus instead, but it's whatever. Tom Cash indeed, and Fiora
Ooh.
blind. So Fiora does have a few counter picks, but I'm not sure if they are open. And I only remember the counter to Fiora, like the opposite ways. I know Fiora counters Camille, for example. But who counters Fiora? Ooh, I think it was Seth back in the day, if I remember.
Yeah, Aatrox I think is not bad either. Into
Aatrox
the
is like
Fiora.
even. It's like a skill. I would say it's not favored for Aatrox, although we have seen people win a matchup.
Yeah.
Cybertop does go with Gnar, his old favorite stable one.
Yeah, I mean that's sort of what you want to see as well. You want to see people on their comfort champions, so that kind of doesn't really surprise me at all. The Fiora blind does surprise me a little bit, but I actually don't even think on the side of Beast it really got punished. I think Gnar into Fiora should be sort of completely fine, although I'm not a top lane expert, so I have not that much knowledge, but it sounds kind of like a fine matchup for the Fiora.
Yeah. I actually found the counter pick now because I remember why. Because I have my boy playing this champ. But Urgot is a counter pick because Fiora, when she ults, wants to run around you. And if you're Urgot, you want people to run around you.
True.
So that is like an ancient counter pick. But it's a bit of a niche champion. You know what the best counter pick is though, Tessa?
What's the best? Olaf I think is pretty good, no?
It's Vayne.
True.
It's statistically.
That's so unironically. I feel like Yasuo might not be bad.
Yasuo could be fine, but if you get hit by the riposte, you get your attack speed extremely slowed, so you still have to dodge it.
True.
So you can have issues, and you can still kind of get chased down. It's not the easiest. Yone could be fine. You have like a mind game type situation.
I mean, I think Yon is fine to anything, no? It's Yon.
I
He
think
builds
Gangplank
Hullbreaker
could
and
be
then will
fine.
overdice.
Yeah, Gangplank should be fine. There are like
But
a lot of champs that, like typically, I think Fiora turns into a skill matchup in most matchups,
yeah.
regardless. Like
I
even
mean,
in the early
Fiora,
matchup, you have it.
just like, Fiora overall is a champion that requires a lot of skill to play and to pilot, especially in environments like these. So, depending on who you're against, sometimes it's just a harder skill matchup, sometimes it's just an easier one, in a way.
Yeah, I think also in the NAR matchup, you still have, like in mini form, not too much mind games. So you just get kind of harassed.
Yeah.
But in the mega transformations, there's like a lot of mind games regarding, oh, he's got the rage, is he gonna transform? Is he gonna transform with the ult? Is he gonna stun? Remember we're posting now later because the ult is semi hard to react to, the Gnar ult. So I think that is like the best to lead. I think W is very easy to W, like the W from Gnar, the stun. So I think you should never lead with that. Probably you need to mind game with the ult, like either pop it early or just pop it late.
Yeah, I think you have to try to avoid walls for the most part or go near walls. Because, like you said, unless you're sort of doing it off of intuition, reacting to Gnarled is quite hard, considering the animation is pretty instant as well, just with how the champion was made. And then you get ultimate into the W stun, and like you said, then it's gonna be a pretty bad time for you. So I feel like it is just gonna have to be try to avoid walls because, like you said, the W stun pretty parryable in the top lane. But I really like this Tom Kench pick in the bot lane because you're going up against the Vi, going up against the Syndra, Leona, all the single target CC. If you can just press E on Orianna or Jinx, it is gonna be a really powerful tool to keep them alive as well. And even the Wukong if it's necessary, but mainly the two immobile carries.
Yeah, it's mainly for Orianna Jinx, I would say.
Yeah.
Tom Kench does lack a little bit of, how do you say, other than his eat. I feel like he's a very, like he doesn't have a lot of tools, or his tools are a bit awkward. So he got like slow, he's got like a kind of stun, but they're very like slow and predictable. So it's not like the greatest engage or disengage in that sense. He's just there for the eat mostly, and being like a little chunky ball, so he can walk up to get space for objectives. But beyond that, he's like a kind of so pick. So I think the bans from the side of Snek actually paid out a bit because I think they would have preferred to have a Renata or a Lulu looking at the Tom Kench like something to really help out and support their Jinx basically. Because I feel like it's mostly for the Jinx that they've decided to pick Tom. They just want to avoid him getting blown up by the Vikate.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, there's a lot of damage coming off the snack pack draft, so I feel like you sort of, if you want your Jinx to be able to play the game, you had to opt in for like something like a really supportive support. Lulu and Red Nata, like you said, both taken off the table, so it couldn't be either one of those. Karma as well did get banned away. That was from side of Beast, but I don't think, I'm not entirely sure if Karma Shield is really ever enough to keep you alive from the combo of Vice, Syndra, potential Leona jumping on you as well. The only thing that kind of concerns me with the Tahm Kench pick is the fact that Tahm Kench is not the tankiest champion in the world. So in a world where they just say, screw the Jinx, she's gonna eat him, we're just gonna kill the Tahm Kench anyway. I think the side of Snack Pack should have enough damage to burst down the Tahm Kench, and quite quickly as well, especially in the later stages of the game, where Syndra has unleashed power, has some splinters, has some items, and just starts really hurting.
Definitely. I mean, he is in the support role, so he won't be too tanky. Like, he will be tanky for sure because he has his E and the Grey Health, but he will still be very able to die when he's walking in against a team like Snackbacks. There
Yeah.
will not be room for him to just take damage and back off. And it's also very hard for him to W out if Syndra has the Scatter or Leona, the stun or Vi. Like, there's a lot of CC that can come in when he's Wing, and it's quite slow, so I don't think he will have the room to W out too much.
Yeah, I also think just champion wise, there is. I feel like a lot of things that can go wrong for both teams and a lot of things that can go right. I feel like if this Caitlyn sort of doesn't get off on his feet very quickly and get some plates in, the side of Snek might struggle a little bit heading into the mid game and the early game stages when it comes to damage. Outside of the Caitlyn, Syndra very much wants to scale into the late game. Vi, unless she gets some follow up in her engage, can't really just jump in willy nilly and just go 1v5 ham. Needs that support from her team. And unless it comes from the Caitlyn, no one else is really gonna provide damage on the bot side of the map, I feel like, to
That is
follow up
true,
these
yeah.
engages.
Yeah, on the bot side of the map, you'll have a like in team fights, you'll be kind of fine. Nard does provide a fair bit of damage in mini, and Vi as well does provide a fair bit of damage when you do engage. Although she's very liable to die during the engage, but she does provide damage, so that's kind of fine. But yeah, Caitlyn is a kind of awkward ADC where I feel like if you're not ahead, she deals a lot less damage than other ADCs compared, because she doesn't have a lot of attack speed steroids or similar. She has like this strong one tap potential where if you're ahead, it feels really bad to walk up because you get chunked once and you're like half HP. So yeah, it is a bit reliant on getting ahead to a degree. We'll have to see how they play it. I think Tom Kench is a surprisingly hard support to beat out from the turret. And Jinx, with her range, is harder to get that, especially if you're playing Leon and not a poke champion. So we'll have to see. I think they're still gonna get like maybe 1 or 2 plates, but I don't think they're gonna win extremely hard. To win really hard with Kate, I feel like you need to get a support like Karma, Lux, or maybe like Lulu, like something, even Renata works, like something that's ranged and that can provide you with some CC and the turret and damage. Basically enchanters.
Yeah, it's just because, like you said, you need to poke them under tower if you're planning on keeping them under tower,
Yeah.
and still like having that pressure. I do still think though it is 2 very interesting drafts. We have another unique champion in the Tom Kench even for day 2, and I think this is the first Fiora we're seeing as well, if I'm not completely mistaken, on Mom Go Sky. So it is still good to see that even on day 2 people are still opting for the unique champions. Was there Fiora in the group stage? Okay, I've gotten confirmation from Mr. Producer that apparently there was a Fiora in the group stage. So there is only one unique champion in the Tom Catch.
We really need the Tom Kench. I mean, Tom Kench, to be fair, not the most exciting champion, I feel. I am
True.
kind of excited for the Vi though. I think Vi is a solid jungler that's just like a bit scary to play because you really have to commit when you ult. But I feel like it's a very nice. It's kind of similar to an Nautilus except you throw your body with the ult.
Yeah, I feel like, in my opinion, Tom Catch is a champion. It's one of those things where people sort of look at him and go, this big blob catfish just right clicks me with grasp and takes my entire health bar and then GQs me. But I honestly think Tom Kench requires quite a bit of skill to play, because your W, like you said it yourself, Hacks, in Champ Select is quite slow,
Mm.
and unless you pair it up with your Q, it is not the easiest ability in the world to actually hit, as well as using your passive and your EAT, Grey Shield as well. It's generally better as a Tom Kench, unless you're in a big team fight, to use your Grey Shield in small chunks, instead of just popping one big fat shield that has time to run out before you get to use the full utility of it. But you can see as well already both of them fighting for prio in the bot lane on both sides.
It does look like Jinx and Kench are going to come out ahead on top, which is a shame. I feel like this is something that happened last time as well, which makes me not like the. Ooh, nice dodge from Cyber top coming out in top lane. We'll have a pretty good trade here if he hits the passive, although Mongosky will disengage. Yeah, not getting the push skate, it's kind of fine. Like you can bounce the first wave. It's not the end of the world. Speaking of Tom, yeah, there is a lot of skill to Tom. He's just I feel like he's a champ that does only one thing, but the thing that is hard is the positioning you will have in team fights, because it's quite different from other supports. Ooh, nice stun from Cybertop coming out onto Mongo's guy. Because you kind of want to walk up and get space, but you also want to be in a position where you can always bail out your ADC. So you always want to be close to your ADC. So you can't be too forward and not too far back.
Yeah,
Unless
definitely. And I mean,
Evo's
as
going to
well,
invade.
Evo is gonna walk in
He
here.
has been seen by the ward in mid, so Night Fury knows it actually sees him right now. Okay, he is going to queue out.
Ooh.
And there will be no more of that funny business. Sushi Killer will check for it.
Well,
Root comes down onto Cupcake. There is a fight. Does flash W. Jinx flashes after. He has Ghost, so he might be able to outrun this. Oh, gets the stun out of the whack. Securing first blood for Vadimori. They're still hunting. I don't think they're gonna pick up Prioso, but that is a huge kill. Which is a kind of a consequence of Evo invading, because Prioso felt like he needed to roam over to River, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, the Weaponator strikes again in the bot lane. Circular a little bit under threat in the mid lane, but like you said, it's a great kill onto Vadamori. And you can just see on the minimap, it's kind of just Cupcake being in no man's land with how far away Okan is. And like you said, the ghost almost gets him up, but the tongue from Wapfear is really, really good into the stun. Vadamori just picks up the kill. And a very early kill, actually, considering kind of how slow paced some of the games that we saw yesterday were. This time around only took us 4 minutes, and I feel like if this lane gets out of hand for the side of the Beast Team Esports, Cupcake might have a pretty rough time. Because like you said, Hacks, Caitlyn is one of those champions where if you're weakened when going into the mid game, it feels really bad to play.
It is, and you'll also be facing a Fed Jinx, which is gonna be the worst part of the situation.
Yeah.
Because Jinx does one or two items, specifically two item spike, I would say, deals a lot more damage than a Caitlyn, at least in a sustained team fight. Do see Gnar with the base, he's getting a solid base. Top lane, not having too much action, they've been trading back and forth, but... Oh, does stop the base. Not too big of a deal, they both have TP up. He wants to get a little bit of a cheater recall in, but he'll be completely fine here unless Night Fury decides to path up for the gank. But he has camps on both sides, so I don't think he's going to do it.
Dragon as well is up, so you are risking a potential early dragon if you go top lane as a jungler right now. But speaking of the early dragon, I do want to ask you, I think in your eyes, who would you favor if we're talking about a potential 3v3 between bot lane and jungler? Which side would you prefer in that potential 3v3?
I think it just comes down to... I think if it's like a longer fight and Jinx is alive, I think they win it just due to the reset. But I do think that if the side of Snek can burst a target, they have the tools to really burst a target with Caitlyn, Leona, and Vi. So if they can one-tap a target, I think they're completely fine. I don't think Wukong or Jinx can carry a fight by themselves if the other part is dead. And here it goes, we do get the engage onto Wap. Evo is here, might be looking for the flash. Will he? Oh, no flash, not quite in range. Flash from Prioso, not quite in range. Night Fury is here on the counter gank. Prioso is going low, will be going down. Does get the reset coming in for Vedamori. They are going to be hunting. Danny88 is also here. He does have ult, does have flash. Will it decide to flash? No, Night Fury does clean up. Evo, there comes the Oriole, has to flash out. Quite solid.
Little bit confusing moves, I gotta say, coming out from Snackpack. I think Pryogon, like you said, a little bit overzealous there on the flash. I feel like if they were gonna commit to that, Evo should have done the flash Q there at the start. It was a great engage
Yeah,
onto WAP,
here he has
but
to do it almost there, like right before Web flashes. He has to Q and force the flash out, and then he can just back up. They can be
yeah.
happy just getting the flash, basically.
Yeah, and Ocon just goes a little bit too deep, unfortunately. Ends up costing everyone their lives. Evo here as well. The Q forward is a little bit overzealous as well. I feel like you just should just kind of Q out there just because you're up against 4. But first dragon of the game, and Ocean Dragon, in my opinion, the best dragon, first to get, is gonna be picked up by Beast TV Sports.
Definitely. And I mean, like you say, it's a bit ambitious. I don't think it's worth trading your flash for Randall a lot shorter CD. But it's not the end of the world. It is a 1k gold lead. It does feel bad just because you are these specific lanes. But I mean, in the end, it's not too bad. Vi has cleared all the camps. She didn't really lose any jungle time on it. The only lane that really lost out on it is bot lane.
Yeah.
So Cybertop about to go mega. Does bait parry with using Q instead of W. So
Although
showing...
great dodge on the stun from Umgo Sky.
Definitely, yeah. And I mean, parrying the Q is not bad. It's just that now there's like a window of opportunity where you can try to get the ulti.
True. Evo though, he's up in the top lane. Cease and desist is available.
There's also Night Fury in the top river. I don't know the... There might be a scuffle for the crab here, although mid laners are not participating yet.
Night Fury is level 5.
Ooh. Getting damage in. Will be secured by Night Fury. Courtesy of Momgo Sky helping his jungler out. And Momgo Sky, or not Momgo Sky, Night Fury has been able to secure most of the crabs and really asserting dominance in the jungle. Also fighting Evo here to trap the cap, although a bit deep. I don't think Evo is that weak. I think he can take this fight. Although Sushi Killer is low, so he has no mid prio.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest sort of threat for him is that mid lane because then 8x8, granted having no mana to really do much, can still move, and even Orianna auto attacks do quite a lot with the passive that she does have. But you can see level 6 is starting to come through in the bot lane as well. Evo managing to hit his Night Fury is now level 6 as well. Cupcake should be getting level 6 quite soon, I would say. And Summoners as well are
Ooh,
going
here
to be
we
back up for
go.
Cupcake.
Evo does have ult, but Vladimir is far away. Does decide to ult the WAP, trying to get the kill, punishing the flash that they burned earlier, but Cupcake is stuck in the traps from Jinx, and now she's dealing damage. Does get stunned on a Prio Zone. Has to be a bit careful here. Here comes the W from the WAP. Prio Zone deep into the Jinx, but there's no damage coming out. Cupcake can't really walk up. No mana. Shutdown comes down onto Wukong in mid lane, looking like a 2v1 almost. And Cupcake will live with Ghost.
And a 2v3, yeah, 2v3 down in the bot lane is gonna go the way of Beast Team Esports. A great play coming out of them. And this is what we were talking about. If the Caitlyn does fall behind, you kind of lack damage in that bot side. And with Evo not being particularly ahead either, you're gonna see Vladimir and WAP are completely fine just playing that one out.
Sushi Killer and
Meanwhile,
Danny.
mid lane.
Does have ult on Ori. Might decide to use it, but Sushi Killer. So yes, it is going quite bad in the bot side for the side of Snek Pack, but they're basically winning in top and mid specifically has a quite notable CS lead, probably due to Danny 8-8 roam down to the bot side. So they have gotten payback for the roams that Danny 8-8 did to get his bot side ahead. They even got 2 plates in mid for the side of Syndra, and that was without Herald, just courtesy of the roam. So it kind of equalizes the gold a bit, although it is put onto Syndra instead of your Caitlyn. Which is completely fine, I would say.
Yeah, I think the value you get, I think it is a little bit more delayed if it was onto the Caitlyn. I think Syndra takes a while longer to scale up and become sort of the useful threat we are used to seeing her be. It becomes much later on into the game. You can see Evo though.
He does have people with him, though. They do see Wukong. They know everyone's here, and they're gonna secure the crab. Mongo's guy is kind of stuck in no man's land. We'll get out of there. And Nightfear is still looking for the gank on mid. Knows there's no flash on Sushi Killer, I assume. And now he should go down. No kill return onto Danny. Nightfear does pick it up. Might want to give it over to Orianna, but it's completely fine to take it as well. Wukong does scale quite well. And nice punish onto the flashless Syndra.
Yeah, especially when the shockwave is up.
He does have one. He does have ult on him. He's looking for the last ult proc to get the heal. Doesn't get it. Ooh, and Nar could go back into this now. Ooh.
Oh, that's a
It's
great
not gonna get
move.
mega. It's not gonna get mega. Very tight. Hitting that attack speed slow. Huge. And that's a win for Mongo's guy. But that was a very winnable situation for Sabotop. Very tight in the top lane. Unfortunately, does lose it out.
Yeah, the top lane gonna be very tight here out of both players, and like you said, Mongo's guy, I think played that pretty well, especially with sort of how he handled the Mega Narbar. Knew he wasn't coming up for a while, so decided to just go back in. And I mean, a great solo kill on the top lane.
Definitely. I think they're looking to punish, like, the flashless mids are not having fun. I love not having flash on mid.
2 mobile mages as well.
Typically easier for Syndra to get the kill due to just having Scare of the Weak up at all times, and a bit more damage, I would say. Orianna does deal fine damage with the jungler just due to the way her ult interacts with junglers and being a good CC tool. They're gonna Herald in bot side, hopefully pick up this turret for Vadimori, giving a large chunk of gold. Maybe we can see the gold. I'm pretty sure Vadimori is very rich compared to the rest of the map. Yeah, even ahead of the Syndra. So being the strongest member on the map right now.
Yeah, like you said, yeah, Sushi Killer is gonna be quite strong in the mid lane, but this bot lane really has not gone the way Snackpack would have wanted it to. You can see as well, Strikebreaker completing the top lane.
Damage coming out. Evo is here. He's looking for the parry. Nice shove.
It's a
Nice
great
shot.
combo out of Cybertop, and this is why we mentioned Nar when we were in draft, because Nar is something this man is used to playing, and you can see how comfortable he's on it as well. Probably played this matchup countless times,
Mm.
and just very good on it.
Yeah, and it's like the classic mind game. Like, you don't think he's gonna shove you immediately because you're like, oh, I don't want to parry immediately, because then if you lose parry, you're a free target. But he decides to just go for it immediately, basically limit testing your reaction speed, and that does work out most of the time because Naruto is pretty fast.
Yeah, this is something we said in draft as well. Like, the Gnar ult is not an easy thing to parry by any means. It's pretty instant the way it works, and you can see as well. First time is starting to come through. Like I said, Strike Breaker from Ghost Sky, Night Fury completing his Divine Thunder. We have Kraken in the bot lane for Badamori. Already a BF sword as well, so this Jinx, like you said, is gonna really hurt. And as well on the other side, Stormraiser is gonna be completed for Cupcake, and he's gonna be quite behind on Badamori at least for the time being.
He's still being quite relevant. WAP a bit deep, but he does have Vadamori to back him up. They actually could have turned onto Vadamori there, quite technically, just using Vialt. Because Vap was a bit too deep. I don't think he was quite in range to eat Vadamori there. And if they just decide to burst Vadamori instead, it's a more high prior target. And he's, yeah, basically out in the open.
Yeah,
Although the rest of the
definitely.
team is
Very
rotating in
aggressive.
here. They're taking over red side. There is not much to fight for yet. There will be Herald, like, in a bit. I'm not sure exact timer, but it does say 5 minutes, but I think it's gonna be earlier. Oh, they got engaged hard on the Prios and trying to get vision. Jinx Rocket does come in. Will try to run away, but should be going down any second here. Auto comes in from Rihanna. Ooh, big combo onto Vadamori. WAP is there to eat him in case of the ult, so should be safe. And they're gonna pick up Herald.
Should be free for the most part for the side of these Team Esports. I doubt this is gonna be any contention. Vladimir, like you said, pretty strong. On the Jinx, you can see as well Danny 8byte finally picking up his Ludens, which means this Orianna in the mid lane is gonna be weak by no means. And you can see contesting for the bot lane tower. I think this should, for the most part, go down. Danny 8byte
Yeah,
is gonna
Evo is
walk
here,
in.
so I don't think Danny they should be able to walk up here unless they commit a TP, but he should die if he walks up to this turret. Even flash ult from Evo, Q. Ooh, decides to ult the wave. Good move. Just trying to stall for the turret. And they actually dispel it. I feel like if Evo played a bit more aggressive in the mid bush, he should not be able to walk into turret there.
Yeah, I'm a little bit surprised that Evo queued out there instead of queuing in more aggressively. Like you said, could just be scared that there are threats sort of coming and someone's sitting in the sidelines. But I feel like Danny 8byte shouldn't really be allowed to walk up to that wave. But like you said, good shockwave ends up walking up nonetheless and protects the tower. At least for one more wave, it does end up going down nonetheless. But still
Yeah.
a valiant effort from Danny 8byte.
It's mostly a matter of time until the turret falls. It's just the way it is usually inside lane. And Danny 8 specifically has also been playing more of a roaming style, while Sushi has been staying in the side lane for now, trying to scale up for the next team fight. And I mean, the Dragon in 1 minute will be quite a decider. They will have to find a way to handle the Jinx somehow without getting eaten by the Tom Catch. And I'm not
Yep.
sure exactly how that will work. They would have to almost count on a mistake from the WAP to just isolate the Jinx.
Yeah, I think you need to look for catches, like you said, onto members that doesn't have the Tom Kench near him. I think the thing where I talked about in draft where you can try to one-shot the Tom Kench, I don't think they have the damage for it yet. I don't think it works necessarily, although,
There
if I
comes
say
the
that.
stun. They could get a pick onto him though. Getting a chunk there is quite good, but so is Prioso being chunked up. Jinx Rocket does come out, Leona. Cleanse comes out immediately. Here comes Night Fury with the Wukong engaged. Good Locket coming out of Cup of Prioso, keeping Sushi alive, and they clean up Night Fury. Here comes the Orianna. Great Q in by Evo. Does not have ult yet, has to flash out. Good stall. Scare the Week coming out, and Sushi's still alive. Does have TP, can base and come back. Cybertop is coming in the flank as well, but it should be calming down for now. And Fiora is gonna keep splitting top, actually committing the TP. But this might be a drag going over to Snek pack due to the kill they get on Night Fury and the flash.
So many low health bars as well on the side of Snack Pack. You can see
And Locket is clutch from
almost.
Bryostone. Look at Sushi Killer here when Night Fury goes in, thinking he's gonna get the kill. Clutch Locket comes in, scared the weak, barely saves him, and Cupcake picks that kill up. This
You-
flash also out, Cupcake reacting very well to Danny 8-8's flash in for getting the Orianna. Everyone playing it good, and Snack Pack showing that they have strong proficiency in the team fight area specifically. I feel
Yeah,
like it's one
very
of their
well
like
timed.
main strengths to a degree. Because early game macro beasts have shown like really solid. They're first on objectives, first on vision, and that's why they get most of these kills. They're just first on the objective, and they catch someone walking in alone. But we're approaching like the mid game where it will be more team fight oriented. Although this dragon is looking kind of lost. They're a bit too late. They're trying to walk in maybe, but could be hard against the Oriana ball. It
Yeah,
is
I
looking a bit
think
rough.
you're gonna just have to let this one go.
Yeah, it's just a Cloud Cells. It's not the end of the world. You could play for a better engage. Ooh, trying to catch that 8-8. But nothing's gonna
Solo kill
happen
in the
really.
top lane.
Oh, yeah. By Nard. That's surprising. And he's full health. I don't know how he did that. He must have gotten him on the turret.
Yeah, I
I
would
don't think it should be
assume
that free.
so. The Merc treads as well out of Mongo's guy isn't really that helpful into the 1v1, whereas the Steel Caps plus Bramble combo out of Cybertop is pretty excruciating to deal with. If you're a Mongo's guy, it's a lot of your healing cut as well as a lot of armor and a lot of damage sort of denial coming out. You should be able to pick up top tier 1 as well with that solo kill potential mid tier 1 falling, but Vatamori gonna be here to keep it safe at least for now. And Cybertop, I actually want to quickly, if we can take a look at the gold, just want to check how rich he is compared to the rest of the map. Because he
Ooh,
is
Scatter. Here comes
ahead of
Evo.
progression
Viol
tree.
should be coming in any second. Will be very dead. This is the issue, and this is also why Danny 8-8 has not really walked up in side lane. It's very rough against the Syndra Vi. You're just immediately dead if they are there. Ooh, Night Fury, but Evo is close. This is a bit ambitious. He's gonna decide against it eventually and not walk up. If he does walk up, Evo is right there, and he should know he's right there. Basing most probably so. Bit of an
Yeah.
ambitious play from Night Fury, but it works out. They both disengage it.
Sushi Killer
Cybertom
definitely not alone.
working here again, dealing damage. He gets another passive. If he gets this passive, he gets the Mega Gnar, but that's a lot of damage out onto the Fiora. The mini form of Gnar actually, with the W passive, deals a ton of damage. It's almost like a tiny ADC.
It's like a tiny ADC, and then when he grows, he's like a big tank.
Yes,
What a versatile champion.
indeed. He's like Casante, but the version 1.
He's like Cassante, but worse. Because
Ah.
Cassante. And
I mean,
nothing
I
is
think
worse than
most people,
Cassante.
yeah, most people dislike Casante more, I would say. We've grown to embrace the Gnar, the little small Yordle.
I mean, but smaller Yordle is cute though. Like Gnar in mini form is really cute.
But is Teemo really cute?
No, no, not all small Yordles, just Gnar in mini form.
Okay, just Gnar. That
Just
is
Gnar.
true. Most Yordles are cute.
Not Teemo though.
Shout out to my
Not
homie
Teemo.
Rumble.
Not Teemo. Teemo is not cute. Teemo is the devil incarnate.
Sounds good. We agree. Handshake.
Yeah. Oh, hey, for
Uh,
once we do agree on something.
for once, we do agree.
Evolve.
But yeah, we're gonna have to see. I really would like to see Snek Pack for this next dragon be a bit earlier on the objective. I feel like they have been quite late to most objectives. I don't know if it's due to the way the waves have been set up. Ooh, here he goes. They know Meganar's there. Cybertop smells the jungler. Well, he does have a ward actually. So he just sees the jungler. And Evo is going to try and invade the bot side, probably going to steal Raptor camp if he can, or, well, anything he can get his hands on.
Yeah, with Night Fury running up top lane, this should be free, but he's just gonna watch the Raptor spawn,
Engage.
engage in the mid lane.
Engage. Going on to Pry Ozone, but WAP is very deep. Syndril should clean this up quite easily, although Locket and E keeps him alive. Evo is going to commit the big shockwave out of Danny 8-8, hitting everyone. Night Fury is in there dealing the damage, but Evo is still alive, and Evo is quite big. Syndra is also on the back dealing damage. So it's not impossible, but here comes Vadimori, which means it's a bit scary. Shadowweek does miss, so they probably have to disengage this fight now. And that shockwave was massive from Danny 8-8, hitting both, I think, 3 people.
I think it was
Syndra,
2 people.
Yeah, Syndra, Kate, and Leona, or maybe it was Sly. Don't remember the third one. But I don't know it was Syndra, Kate, the important ones.
Yeah, it was big moves coming out from Danny 8x8. You can see it on the replay as well. I think it was the initially not bad engage. This is what I was talking about. You can try to one-shot the web, but he kind of just keeps on living. But the shockwave onto everybody except Evo is massive out of Danny 8x8.
I think without that shockwave, Snek win that engage quite convincingly, but that shockwave changed everything in the fight. And especially when your main consistent damage rows goes down like that, Caitlyn and chunking the Syndra, so it's more scary to walk up. It gets much harder to win those fights. You're about to going to split push, the classical, going to take the turret. Although I feel like it will take quite a while for the Fiora. Ooh, we have a fight immediately here. Leona going in, Sushi Killer is on the flank. This is not too bad. Although Danny 88 on the flank, but stun comes in, TP is in there. Syndra ult, Danny 88 might go
Oh
down
my
here, does go
god.
down, but Sushi saved by Evo. Ult comes in, Night Fury is going to go down here most probably to Gnar. Vap is also stuck in the middle of nowhere, and Vadamori can't do anything to help out his fellow team. Fiora will probably get the top turret here since Gnar committed the TP unless Sushi Killer bases and TPs.
Yeah, this is the thing. When you do run around the map on Danny 8x8, yes, you get your team ahead. But look at Sushi Killer. This man just stage foot in his lane. He's ahead by 60 CS. He's got 3 items. He's got the Void Staff. This Syndra is, I think, if he's untouched, has the potential to outdamage Vadamori in teamfights despite Vadamori being 3-0.
It's also that you can just pick off a priority target, and yeah, he definitely can outdamage. It's more inconsistent due to being a skill shot champion, but like we saw, if he hits one scatter, basically someone is going to be dead. Either
Yeah.
by courtesy of Evo following up or Caitlyn ult, like the combination of skills that they have can easily... Surskiller doesn't even have to walk up with ult if he doesn't want to. He can just go for Scatter the Weak. If he goes QE, hits both those, he can let someone else clean up the job.
There's a lot of burst damage coming out from the South Snack pack, right? You have, like you said, Evo, Sushi Killer if he hits a scatter, Ace in the hole, out of Cupcake, even potentially the Solar Flare out of Pryocon if they need it for some extra CC, and Cybotop follow-up. I think overall, there's just a lot of ways to maneuver teamfights on the side of the Snack pack, and so far they've shown us that they have been great at using those tools. But Danny 8x8 always for me is a person that can turn teamfights around, especially on Oriana. The shockwaves that he can pull if he gets into the position that he can be, I think, very, very dangerous to play against.
He has been showing that he has the clutch shockwaves, and I think if he picks up his, I'm assuming he's going Shadow Flame, it looks like. If he does manage to pick that up, he should be fine on the damage front for a bit, even though, yes, Sushi Killer will be quite far ahead, almost an entire item.
Yeah.
Nor
Void
not
stuff
a battle
as
here.
well, I feel like is really good into sort of some of the champions on the other side. But especially, you see the double mercs on the top side of the map for the side of Beast Team Esports. So definitely it's gonna help against that, Evo.
Not deciding to ult the WAP. I think it's good, like, not deciding to ult when the WAP is close to a high prior target. I think it's wise to just not go for it and just try to find a better situation where you can find a more isolated target or preferably a Scatter the Weak onto someone. It's quite easy to overforce with Wild. It's like one of the reasons why I think the champ is scary in a sense to play for some people.
Yeah. And I mean, why is those champions similar to like Kled in a way, right? Where sort of once you ult in, you don't really have
Ooh,
that many
stun
ways to
comes
come
down
back
onto the more
out.
instant cleanse. Caitlyn does go through. Ult onto Night Fear. I don't know if they're gonna kill him though. They do have the damage, but he's a bit slippery. They do get cleanse and flash out of Vanamori, so not bad. And they force TP out of Danny 88 to make sure he doesn't go down here before the Baron.
That's a
Quite
big
fun.
win, I think. It's 3 key summoners. Like you said, Danny 8 bites teleport and both out of Vanamori. I think it's a huge win for the South Snack.
It definitely is a huge win because if you look at farm and gold, like Vadamori is the crucial part. Like even if Danny 88 gets a big shockwave, I don't think if most of the prior targets on the side of Snek stay alive that they can win a fight just off of that. The WAP might be a bit trapped here. Trap does go down, Night Fury, bit deep. WAP is still in here, will get out with the W. No Q from Evo used it beforehand, so can't stop the W out. Cybertop still holding down the Fiora split push, doing quite well.
He's holding down the fort. He's playing Bloons Tower defense.
He's even pushing Fiora back, which is quite impressive for being a Gnar in this matchup. Fiora
Yeah.
is made for these type of split pushes.
He's
So
playing
holding it
Bloons
down
Tower
is
attack.
very good. Blues tower attack, the good old VC free mode. Oh, so she's still about to walk into Night Fury, but does vote against it. They know Evo's around. Probably the smart move from Night Fury. And they're actually gonna walk in here. They might be able to find Danny 88. Night Fury does bottom out, so they know.
I mean, that's the big target they were looking for. You can see, by the way, Evo was positioning as well, that they really wanted to go for Danny 8x8. You can say as well, Cupcake is slowly scaling into the game. 2 items completed now, going his way on to the third. But Badamori, he's been chilling. He's been farming 303 CS on him
He's chilling on
and
10 CS per minute.
3.5 items. So he's gonna be very quickly closing in out to 4 items.
Yeah, Badamori has it's a very farm heavy game, even with a bit of action. So props to the teams for really being able to farm well. And here we have a bit of a scuffle. What, walk up? Nars on the flank. Fiora is not here, so they're actually 4v5. He's going to try to base, but here there might be an engage. He has no Mega though, so he can't really force anything. And he probably wants to base to stop the Fiora split push here.
Yeah.
Nice combo. Does press W. Night Fury is completely safe. Badamori. Ooh, Solar Flare. So that hit could have been dangerous. No cleanse. And they're going for the Baron over. Oh, they're just starting it. That's special. Nar still has TP. I don't know if they want a team fight on the side the Fiora is on. And they are quickly off of the Baron. They're trying to bait them into bad engage. Here is Fiora. Will TP come in from the Nar? Stun comes in. Nar is just running down. Will be there. Pry also going down. Sushi Killer. Night Fury is onto the backline. Evo is peeling though. Big damage onto Night Fury. Will go kind of low. Here is WAP in the middle of everywhere. Does hit most people. Evo will go down. Fiora is doing work. Nar has Mega though. Will he go in? No, he decides against it for now. And that peel from Night Fury on the backline, stopping most of the damage from Snek Pack from being effective.
Yeah, Eva as well doing a pretty good job of trying to keep Sushi Killer alive right there. You can see he opting for the Radiant Virtue on the Vi. A more supportive mythic here to try to keep his team alive. He knows that he's not going to win the game by doing the damage himself. This turn not going to be enough, but just a great engage coming up from the side of the Beast Team Esports and an even bigger flank from out of Mango Sky.
They're also in a 4v5 here for a short moment, which is really huge because Cupcake gets zoned out by the Fiora while Nar is not here. So Ozone and Cupcake are kind of out of the fight. And then Night Fury basically zones out Sushi Killer and traps Evo here. This great W from the WAP basically secures the kill. I think otherwise he might be able to walk out.
That's a big knockup coming out from the cage. We talked about how difficult the W can be to hit, but that's the thing. If you are sort of in a pocket where there's no vision, many people don't really see it coming in team fights just because if you're in the middle of everything and if it's really hectic, it's not the easiest ability in the world to spot if mixed in alongside other things. You can see Mongo Sky as well opted in for the whole breaker, really going for his split duties in a side lane and knows what his job is.
For sure. I also think it's notable that regardless of all the scuffles, like I don't think Snek has won many fights this game, but due to them having solid macro in every lane, they still are only down 2k, and a 2k deficit at this point in the game is kind of whatever. There's still 3 items on the Caitlyn, there is 4 on the Jinx, sure, but still, you're getting items on your carries, and it's not like they have no chance of winning fights. They're still quite competent in the gold section, so they can still win a lot of these fights if they hit the correct combos. It is still troublesome, like they do have the Jinx. They have to find a way to handle the Jinx, because otherwise she will clean all fights. Well,
I think at this point...
Oh, they stopped! That scare of the week onto Night Fury was big. Big shockwave onto 3 people! Ozone should go down here in the eat onto Night Fury. Does save his life. Man, then 880s, these shockwaves are making short work of Snek Pack, I feel like.
Yeah, and it's just gonna come down to execution at this late stage of the game, and the 2k gold lead has now turned into a 4k gold lead, which you mentioned earlier, and as well as just continuous split push threat from Mongo Sky means Cybertop can't really group, and they are gonna secure the Baron as well, but Danny 8-baited with a big shockwave.
That slow is big, but this scatter saves Sushi's life plus the flash from the WAP stun. Night Fury's ult doesn't do a lot, but then the huge shockwave comes in, cleaning the entire fight. And there's just so much space for Vadamori in all these fights. Ooh, here comes the ult. Vadamori is kind of isolated, but so is Evo. The kill does go down onto Night Fury, though, from Sushi. We'll trade Evo for it. Can they save Sushi here, though? A lot of damage from the Fiora. Scatter comes out, missing the stun from the Gnar. Stun onto Gnar. Riposte does hit. Knockup from WAP, and Ozone is kind of stuck in a rough place right now. Does go in, will go down. And it's only Gnar and the Caitlyn right now. So Vadamori is about to run down the Nexus. Here comes the reset.
Only 1 reset though for now.
2 now. I mean, they're gonna hammer these turrets. Still having 2 resets is more than enough. Here comes TP, they're gonna clean up the Nexus WAP with the stun. But there is no way Cybertop can stop this, and that will be game 1 going to Beast Esport, looking quite convincing in the fight section. Winning almost every fight.
Yeah, Beast Team Esports really coming in big right there. You can see if they just play well together, they really can win those fights. But I gotta give it to Danny 8x8. That man with the big shockwaves and a couple of huge ones that I think really turned the game around for them.
Sure, and I think I would also like to see I think if they have another ADC that is not Caitlyn, because Caitlyn quite hard to pilot, and we saw a lot of these times that there was like CC coming down onto the Caitlyn, which is always rough. And I would prefer maybe like something like a Saya where you can just keep more safe. And Beasts have been generally playing kind of deep engage. And with Saya, with your feathers, you have solid, like you get the feathers down and they engage into you. You get the feathers that just basically murder everything that's engaging into you. So I would kind of prefer that. And it also gives a good bailout card to Cupcake.
Yeah, I feel like the Caitlyn wasn't really too influential. Of course, the start of the game for Cupcake wasn't really ideal. The laning phase did not go the way they would have wanted. But still, I think it was all around a great showing coming out from the Beast Team Esports side. And I think with what we saw out of Snack Pack, I don't think they're out of the series by any means. But I think, well, what do you want to see change? I know you said you would have preferred the Zaya onto Cupcake, but I think when it comes to instead of draft overall gameplay and decision in game, do you think the side of Snack Pack need to change much in that department? Do you think it was more so just the draft?
I think it's not, I think it's also that they have to be a bit earlier on certain objectives. It's easy to over prioritize. Like we see that they have really high farm even when losing. It's like kind of like you're losing slowly, where you're just giving up objective after objective, and you're never really contesting them because they didn't really contest the first 3 objectives because they were not in a position where they really could contest them. And I would like to see them go for more of these early contests. But I think it's maybe a little bit of draft per se because it's hard to contest early dragons if you get a Caitlyn lane and you fall behind.
Yeah, I think that's definitely fair. Caitlyn is not a great, like we already said, Caitlyn's not a great champion to play if you are behind, and it just never really feels good. But we're gonna have to see if they can secure some more objectives in game number 2. See if potentially Snek can make a comeback. Keep in mind this is a best of 3, so if Beast Team does end up winning this, that does mean Snek are unfortunately out of the Manta Cup. But we're gonna go into a short little pause. We're gonna be right back, guys, for our game number 2 of the day, of our first series at least of the day. Be right back, guys. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back, everybody. Second game of today. Beast Team Esports versus Snek. Beast Team ended up taking game one in, I think, what I would argue was a pretty close game up until the end, but game two underway, hacks, and I'm excited to see whether we are going to see some changes in draft or whether Beast are just going to stick to what they did in game number one, considering it did end up winning them the game.
Yeah, there are two notable differences you can make, which is either you take away the Oriana from the 8 because even though it was behind, it did hit crucial shockwaves, or you take away the Jinx. Also makes a lot of sense. And they actually banned Oriana from the side of Beasts, so I would not be totally against. I'll take Nocturne first pick. That's kind of fine. I would have preferred, I think, if they took a Syndra. I feel like Sushi Killer has been performing, and then you take one of the two good control mages that exist.
Yeah, definitely. Jarvan gonna be picked up here, though. If I'm not completely mistaken, Beast Team did swap sides as well. Well, no, Snack Pack swapped sides because of Beast Team winning the last game. So it is gonna be good to see whether it is just blue side dominance this time around or whether the Beast Team are just simply better. Zaya gonna be picked up alongside the Jarvan, and we were actually talking during the break. Zaya is a champion that you hacks would have preferred to see in the last game as well.
I just think Saya is a stronger champ than Kate overall, unless you really play for the Caitlyn. I feel like Caitlyn needs a very specific game plan. Saya is just the milder hyper carry, I would say, compared to Jinx. So I'm not surprised to see them pick it up for Vadamori, since it kind of fits with the Beast's playstyle of feeding gold into Vadamori. We do see Snakeback do pick up Syndra, and I know they like the Nocturne, so they have Syndra Nocturne still good, and they pick up the Caitlyn again, which I'm not the biggest fan of, but maybe there are not that many other things that oh, I'm gonna remember names. Cupcake wants to play in the bottle.
Yeah, I think it is just coming down to comfort. I'm not a big fan of the Caitlyn either. I think it Zaya it is better though, just because you can sort of outrange the Zaya for the most part. But you can see the side of Beast as well banning out some of the more threatening supports, Lux being one of those. I wouldn't mind a Karma ban, depending on what sort of support you're planning on going for the side of Beast. And there you go. Yeah, there's gonna be the Karma taken away. Karma locks both great pairings with the Caitlyn. Very, very annoying lane to deal with. A lot of poke and a lot of long range damage coming out through from them. But what sort of supports would you like to see this Zaya paired up with now that Rakan is indeed banned? And as I say that, they're gonna pair it up with the Lulu.
Yeah, Lulu makes sense. Just I feel like overall the WAP has just been playing these types of peel-oriented champs. So Janna would be fine. Lulu is completely fine. Nami would be fine. Melio would not be bad. All completely fine examples. I would like to see Braum is kind of fine if they can get the passive on the turret. And I would like to see like a little bit more aggressive champ than at least Leona, like something that at least can have some effect on the turret. Braum does have his Q. It's something. It's not the most effective, but I think it's kind of fine. They've banned out most of the other strong laners that can do similar things. They could have taken Seraph, but it's quite risky against Jarvan, Akali. So I think the Braum is completely fine.
Yeah, it would be against Akali, Jarvan, as well as the Lulu, who can just shield most of the poke. Granted, not all of it, once Xerath does pick up a couple of components, but for the most part, can keep Zaya pretty healthy. Kasante now being hovered for the
Not
side of the stack is gonna be locked in. And what sort of a response are you expecting into the Kasante in the top lane out of Beasts?
I would take a Gwen personally. I think Gwen is just a great pickup. They do have one AP champ in mid lane, but I think Gwen is just so good against Akasanta. You can really run over him when you hit two items. So I would prefer Gwen. You can go stuff like Fiora if you're more comfortable on it, but I think Gwen is the more consistent choice personally. I'm a
Yeah, I
bit
think
surprised to see Cybertop not going for the Gnar blind pick, to be honest. Volibear.
Yeah,
I have
I
no
think
idea how that match
Gwen
is actually.
wouldn't be bad. I doubt you'd want to stack more AD with the Zion Jarvan already there. So it
Yeah.
is going to be the Volibear, like you said, a little bit more AP damage coming out from the side of Beast in the top lane. And I'm not entirely sure how the matchup goes, but I have seen Volibear do some crazy things. So I wouldn't be surprised if in the early game at least it does go the way of the Volibear, just because a lot of people sort of don't expect the bear to do a lot of damage, and then he just sort of smacks you in the head with his E, gets his W, snacks on you, takes a little bite, and then suddenly he gets all his health back and you lose a chunk.
Definitely. I mean, Volibear is just a pick that's, I would say, really hard to lose on. And I think we had a little bit of a discussion about it. But I think last game, the Fiora didn't have too great of an effect. And Cybertop won. I wouldn't say it's a counter, but I think Kali or Fiora is quite fine into Gnar. It's not easy, but it's manageable. I do think he could have picked Fiora again if he wanted to, but he's opting to play more for his team. And I mean, after seeing Vadamori just winning the game for him with 300 CS, I guess that's a respectable choice.
I mean, yeah, definitely after seeing how last game went. Of course, game one was taken by the side of the Beast, and this time around they are gonna be the ones who's got the Zaya by their side, got the Jarvan, Akali. A lot of sort of strong meta picks coming out from the side of the Beast Team Esports. The Lulu, the Zaya, Jarvan, all very meta, of course. You can see as well, finally the score is gonna be switched up, which does mean everybody it does have the knowledge of Beast being up by a game Akali as well in the mid lane. And last time we saw Akali, it was Gloomy on attacks, and we sort of saw him do his best to take the game over. But I would still argue in the game they lost, that man absolutely popped off.
Definitely. We haven't seen that 88 on it, but it does have a solid Yasuo, and although not similar playstyles, they share the same mindset. So, like in mid, I feel like you have typically two types of players, so two types of playstyles. You either have the more aggressive playstyles of Yasuo, Akali, stuff like that, where you really have to go in and you have to find your windows of opportunity. And I think for the side of Beast, they will find these windows because they generally have been first in objectives. So it will be easier for the side of Dan 88 to find these windows. And he's shown that he can play both that type of style and the control mage, more passive style on Oriana. So I think he'll do just fine like Kali.
Yeah, the Akali, I feel like, should have a lot of impact this game. If you're looking on the side of Snack Pack, there isn't a lot of things, in my opinion at least, that can sort of stop the Akali. You have the Scatter, which I think is the only reliable tool to really stop the Akali engages, but outside of that, I don't think Braum Ultimate and Braum Q are that reliable because Akali just presses W, and if you can't auto her, you can't really block Braum passive as well as her. If she gets knocked up in her shroud, it's kind of whatever because she doesn't really get seen. So I'm expecting the scatter to be the big tool on the side of the attack pack that keeps his Akali at bay. And if the scatter does end up getting sort of wasted, or if it does end up getting blown early on, I'm expecting for that to be the sign for Beast to just immediately pull the trigger. Because with the Jarvan and the Volley Bear, they definitely have ways to pull the trigger. And the Akali, it just needs to be, in my opinion, really, really decisive.
They definitely showed last game that they are quite decisive in going in whenever Syndra is a bit out of position. And as you mentioned, Syndra are very weak when missing the E. I'm very excited to see. I know Snek Pack generally favors Nocturne, or they play quite well around it. So I'm a bit curious to see how they're going to use Paranoia, because Paranoia is kind of a flexible ability. So if you want to play like typical front to back, you don't want to really clump up too much. Now they don't have Oriana, but if you have any type of AoE type damage, Paranoia typically forces people to bundle together like a little scary horror movie, and it makes it really easy to AoE them. Or it splits the fight, so people can't really walk up because of no idea what's going on. So I'm curious to see, because I do know Evo plays a lot of Nocturne and Snek overall plays a lot of Nocturne. So I feel like they will be quite used to using the advantage of Paranoia. So I'm hoping to see. I don't know. I'm interested to see how they will use it in team fights. I'm a little surprised they haven't picked up like the Nico Nocturne combo. I feel like they could be really good at it.
Yeah, and of course, this could have been something in pre-game discussion that Beast went over, depending on the kind of prep they did coming into today. They could have been like, hey, we know they're going to pick the Nocturne. How do we counter it? How do we fight against it if they do? And like you said, Nocturne tends to be one of those champions that's very versatile, does require a lot of sort of team play to play around, or sorry, against. I mean, as well as around, but it's a lot more useful time generally in solo queue where things are a lot more chaotic. But a good Nocturnal can really shake things up and really can change things. I think especially when it comes to things like an Akali and Assassins, where if you can't sort of see the target you're meant to kill, you don't really know the direction you're going, it is gonna be really hard to pick off these isolated targets on the side of Snack. And I think just gonna be a rough game to play depending on how the paranoia is used. But I also feel like if it is wasted, it's such a big tool on the side of Snack that it is gonna be really rough to see if it does end up going sort of to waste.
Yeah, it's probably one of their main tools, because most of their other ults are quite selfish. Kate, Syndra, and Cassante mostly having selfish ults. Cassante can use this to isolate the target, preferably the Saya, I suppose, or Kali, but it's still like a relatively selfish tool, and I think Paranoia is like one of the only big team fight tools they have compared to Volibear ult, Jarvan ult, they have Lulu Wildgrowth, so there's a bit more tools from Beatside Esports for making these team fights really happen for them. But I think, yeah, Paranoia splitting the fight, and if you can isolate the Saya so she can't DPS during an engage, and you can isolate like the backline from the front line, and you can pick those up because you have Sidra damage with the Nocturne damage, Xantis kind of fair damage. Still a bit reliant on Caitlyn being in a solid position, but if they can isolate like that and just immediately kill that front line, I think it'll be completely fine. Because then there's like Beasts playing the style of hypercarry is really reliant on you having a front line. And if you don't have a front line, most hypers have a hard time really taking over the game because most people aren't at the highest level like Gumayusi or these hyper really, really good carries. And then it's kind of hard to play that style, but it's very simple if you have a front line.
Yeah, it's definitely does become a lot easier if you do have someone in front of you standing there. And Zaya, as well as a champion, just enjoys it a lot when people run into her. Right? This is a champion that likes to sort of not step into people. Nocturne is one of those things that has to run into you. Braum, as well, if he wants to support his team, has to run into you. I assume the Kazante is going to be running to melee range. So I think Zaya should be completely sort of not happy, I want to say, just because of the Syndra threat, but I feel like still gonna be very complacent with the pick they got on the side of Beast Team Esports, and especially with it being Vitamory, like you said, having a great game one for himself, should be pretty confident heading into this game number two, as we have finally hit ourselves onto the Rift.
Definitely. Now we are here. Mostly a default coming out. No spicy shenanigans as of yet. The only team we've seen on our stream, at least so far, has been Iotopia with the massive invade onto top lane. But so far, everyone's just defaulting, taking it easy, trying to get vision. Probably want to get a ward down base. Evo's actually gonna keep ward, maybe. I don't think he has time to base now, so he might keep the ward. Cybertop taking a big chunk from Mongo's guy. They're still jousting. Oh, he does see him. Is he gonna E again? No way he's Eing again.
For it?
Oh my god. Ah, don't shit! Okay, he didn't. No!
Oh, it's so much damage.
That's so much damage. E level 1 on Volibear, like, very strong ability comparable to Urgot's E. It gives you shield and it deals a ton of damage. Very strong.
Cybertop is gonna have to pop an early potion as well. You can see Night Fury is gonna opt to start on the top side. Otto gonna try cover Vadamory as much as he can. Where on the other side, Evo gonna be pathing into the top side of the potentially with the way he's pathing. Might look for an early gank in the bot lane just because of the way he's currently clearing. And I think with the Braum as well, he does have the setup for it.
He could actually look for level 3. I think that would be kind of nice to see some more proactivity coming out of Evo. It is kind of hard on doing it on Nocturne, but it will be like a bit awkward. They also could try to invade. Oh damn, Momgo's guys is going hard onto Cybertop, already getting the flash. And this Volibear is paying off so far. I think Cybot, yeah, he will decide to stay. Oh, no, dodge the... Oh god, Jesus.
So much
It's
damage.
so rough. Oh, E does connect onto Sushi Killer. Evo actually deciding to... Ooh, here comes the engage from Night Fury. EQ will be kind of fine, just a little bit of a chunk. Does get the trade back on Danny 88, so he'll be completely fine. And they are confirming that Night Fury will be bot side, so both sides know where the jungler is, and quite good for the side of Evo. They probably know that they can easily trade crabs by this point, so not too bad. I think most of the games, Night Fury has been enjoying a double crab, so stopping that from him this game should be good. And Evo is here to help out his brother. He's eating again! But here comes the gank. Evo is here, does have red buff. Momgo Sky, cute flat. Oh, it's going in. I don't think he's going to be able to kill Cybot top here. Should have enough mana, and yes, this will be first blood. Going down to Evo. Solid punish coming out.
Yeah, I think it was, for me at least, a little bit confusing to see him ghost in when the E wasn't up. I think if the E is up, he can definitely look for a kill
Here's
onto
Night
Cybertop
Fury.
and Night Fury.
Oh, that's a ambitious EQ.
Interesting.
That's a very ambitious EQ. You can do the EQ flash, but you can't unfortunately reach that far. But I like the fact that he's actually walking down here. Maybe they knew they had a ward in the bush, so he was just trying to get some pressure down, seeing if they would fumble something. Good damage on a cupcake, and this lane is looking much better for the side of Snek this time around.
Yeah, the Braum really helping out more than the other time. And you can see as well, this is what I like to see personally. I like seeing both of the junglers be a bit more proactive on the map.
Ooh,
As
gank
another
again
guy.
onto Mongo Sky, knowing he has Ghost and it is down, no flash. Will try to turn here, get the shield. Will he get a kill back? Evo is going low actually. No, missing the Q. Will he just walk away? Auto Q. Q missing. No, he's gonna walk out. What a shame. Okay, he does live. Unfortunate. And Evo, this is good for Cyber top, but he has sacrificed a bit of his clear, and Night Fury will probably look to punish here on invading his red side, since he knows Evo's been spending a lot of time topside, and he hasn't even cleared his blue, so he will be behind on the clear, like not too much because he has Nocturne, so he should be kind of fine. But still, I think it's kind of fine. If they got that kill, it would have been worth it, so a bit unfortunate for the side of Snek.
Yeah, definitely. And you can see now with the bot lane wave bouncing back towards kind of the side of the WAP, and Valimori slowly going to be pushing on into them. Mongo Sky really had a great couple of first levels, and now he's just getting punished by Evo
Ooh.
for the over aggression. So I feel like tracking Evo and tracking this jungler from here on out is gonna be key for
Evo
the
should
side of
read this. Night
Beasts.
Fury will be behind here. He was on Krugs, but he is pathing up already, so they're going to look to punish this Caitlyn lane. Oh, here he goes. Night Fury is walking up, although they have backed up. Not in a great position. Should be able to just E out here. Has flash if he needs to, but I think he's completely fine. Night Fury not really finding the angles this game, and his laners are really having a rough time. WAP really low, like he has to help push this in, leeching EXP from his bot lane. Not optimal.
Yeah, this is not great. It was a big wave as well, which means it's a lot of XP going over
Was he
outside
gonna
of the
try to
pocket of
hold it?
Valimori. I
Ah,
think
they
for a
don't hold
champion
it.
like Zaya as well, right? Like the ultimate is so good, and she's so reliant on it. I think it's a little bit of a pain to see.
Definitely, I think it's unreliant, but I just feel like this time with the Braum, they've finally managed to find that space where Caitlyn can really try to poke you out of lane, and they don't have any sustain. So if you try to poke at a Tom Ken, she has this great health bar, right? So you can't really poke him out. It's basically impossible. But this time they're facing like a normal stock standard lane. And Evo's going for the invade here, might get the Raptors with his fast clear. I think he has the whip, so he'll clear this very fast.
Yeah, Nocturne is a great champion at doing AoE camps, so he's gonna get a little bit of those Raptors away. Well, gonna get some aggressive vision. I think I would have preferred something like a Soraka, I think, over the Lulu, just to give that extra sustain in lane. It would be great as well to stop the Nocturne engage,
Particularly
potentially.
finding WAP here. And he is level 6, this could be scary. Only level 4 on WAP. Another Q? No. He doesn't have 2 Qs probably yet. The shards for it.
I
But
don't
yeah.
know the breaking point
Oh
on
my god.
Splinters.
There's Volibear again. Even with the kills going over
He's
to Cyber
going.
home. Volibear the unit. But yeah, I like overall like how we're seeing the game, especially the jungle matchup. We see that Evo much more comfortable on Nocturne, getting the ganks down. His clear is looking really fine. He's ahead in CS. And Night Fury hasn't had the same amount of
Oh,
power with this Jarvan. Missing the EQ again. The Sushi Killer staying safe does force his flash though, so they could look to regank as soon as Jarvan hits level 6.
yeah, I think it's a great force out of the side of the Beast team, just because, like you said, once Cataclysm comes online, Sushi Killer really gonna have no way out of it, being the immobile mage that he is. Granted, Dunny 8x8 ultimate is gonna be on cooldown for a little bit as well. Can't see Evo though, he's level 6 with the Paranoia on his way to the bot lane.
That's the Q. They're going. They are going. And he is in it. And he's gonna get that kill. Will he stay alive? Yes, here is Braum, the homie. And there goes the Braum passive. Trap. Into trap. Out to Q. Big damage on Vadomori. Almost gets the kill. Here is Nightfear though, and we have a Kali right behind him. So they're gonna have to be careful. But there comes the Braum stun. They just have to disengage here and they will be completely fine. Getting a nice kill onto WAP.
It's a good pick up. Again, Mom Go Sky. He's
Also,
in there.
note that Sushi Killer did not move for this, while Danny 88 once again did. So going down 2 CS and getting at least one plate over to Sushi Killer. Oh, hits the E though. Doesn't have ult. No flash on Sushi though, so he might be able to walk up. Gets the passive. One more Q. Should do it! No, it's so close. Out! He does get the kill, but he will be traded back. That shield is not enough to save Danny 88. But it does get a kill return. And here's Evo. Going into fight. The Night Fear is actually really low. If they find out Night Fear is on this dragon, it will be really bad. Or he's just gonna pick up WAP for a free little kill. Oh, the bot lane of Snek is rotating over. Oh, auto flash.
A
Oh, gets
flash.
another kill. Will they find Jarvan as well? The bot lane is here, but they don't have the CC to really follow it up on him. So they do lose Dragon, but they get a lot of kills back for it, so not too bad. Ooh, Cyber top actually going in on Mongo Sky, and after this shield goes down, oh, you could easily go for a kill here. Cyber top once again winning out in the top lane, and this is looking great for Snackpack so far.
Yeah, Mongo's guy
Flexing
just
the
ends up
mastery mode.
tanking 2 3 tower shots for really no reason, a little bit confusing, but the Mastery 5 coming out from Cybertop there, showing how much Cassante, it was like, what a gamer this man is. Night Fury though, in the bot lane.
Yeah, a bit scary for the side of Snek. They probably want to base. They should have a fair bit of gold on them right now, but they're deciding to go for a little bit of a cheese, which is also fine. And they know I see Night Fury again. Man, I love playing. Oh, the flash! Good E out of Cupcake. Still has flash. He's completely safe. Even managing to hold your summoners. They haven't blown any summoners, and there's been at least 3 to 4 ganks bot lane. It must feel good being the side of Snek, and they get a Herald from this. Oh, and Night Mom Go Sky is stuck here again. No ult. Does have Ghost with its own cooldown. Should go down here as well. Paranoia is still up if they really need it, so. Cybertop.
Yeah,
No more Mastery Mode. He's just happy. No more anger. He's safe now in his soul.
he's a happy Cassante.
He's happy. Doing,
He's doing well. He's doing well. But
ooh, the damage! Big shield.
it's a lot
He
of
hit
damage.
full combo. Q, Braum Q, the E from Caitlyn, and the Q. Oh, here he goes again. And definitely looking much better. The Braum being the piece of the puzzle that they needed to really control this bot lane.
Yeah, needed some bit of a more tankier, meteor man after than the Cassante, and I think for me it's a little bit confusing for us coming out from Night Fury because we talked about it earlier. Sushi Killer's flash was still on cooldown in the mid lane, and I think Sushi Killer really has no way out if they do end up cataclysming, do end up using the cataclysm on him, as well as Deniate by it having the perfect execution. So I think I would have liked to see, instead of opting to the bot lane, use that cataclysm in the mid lane, secure yourself a kill, potentially move that into an invade if you have the topside pressure for it. But I think for me it's a little bit of a wasted cataclysm on coming out of Night Fury there.
I definitely agree because you know you had the summoner down. So at most, if you do go bot, you would just get a summoner blown. If they decide to use summoners, they would just flash out, and that would be the things you get. But if you go to mid, you would be able to accelerate your Akali instead, which would be much better. So yeah, I totally agree. I think mid would have been a better target.
It's a guaranteed kill, I think, as well. But this time around, not going to happen. Evil's Paranoia going to be up once more, level 8 now on the Nocturne camp.
Let's see.
Look at this
The
bot lane.
Cybertop win the 1v1 against Mongo Sky. He has a lot of more items right now. He should have at least 201. Does have Sheen. Kind of similar in items actually. But he has an ult, which is a big deal for Cassante, giving you that damage. And Night Fury, are they gonna... Oh, here it is. But the Evo is right there. Night Fury sees him and it's like, bam. That's a big Nocturne.
That's a big Nocturne. 3-0. He's got a stride breaker. I don't want it. Get him away from me.
It definitely hasn't been the greatest game from Night Fury yet, but they have gotten the dragon down, and there will be another dragon in 130. So we'll have to see if they are actually... I would like to see Snek really contest this dragon and secure it, just to be able to slow the game down, if nothing else. Because I feel like Snek usually wants to play for late game. They know they have solid team fighting, they know they have solid laners, so going to late, they are completely fine with that. But to go late, you need dragons. So let's see how they do it. Wap out here warding. I would have pretty good vision control, but they're already contesting the river now, 1 minute ahead of time. And they will be clearing out the vision.
I think the scary thing is how ahead Evo is.
Damage. That's good damage onto Vadamori.
Evo is 3-0 with a stride breaker. This Nocturne is extremely strong.
Yeah.
He's
He's
like you would say, he's a strong unit.
Ooh, forcing the ult just by being there. And they're gonna try to crack bot turret. I really like this. Much more proactive this time around. Oh my god, damage. Oh! Wait! Oh, okay, close. Oh, here it comes though. Oh, but Night Fury is here on the counter gank. There is a tether. No ult on Saya. Evo is trying to go for it. That can't quite reach. Night Fury is on the turret. Evo does go low, but is managing to run away. Shouldn't be giving up his shutdown here. Should just try to run away.
Oh.
Cupcake almost killing Vadamori. Still though, really solid. They managed to get a kill. Night Fury will hold away, so they can't crack the last plate. Let's see if they can pick up a dragon here. Would probably be the best play, but they're trying to back out first. Not the worst. That's completely fine as well. I do think they have time to pick up the dragon here, but they do get a lot of money on the Caitlyn in the bot lane.
Yeah, I think the main thing they are scared of is Danny because he's got TP. Evo is quite low on HP. Mongo's guy's TP is about to come, so if they start the dragon, Wap was gonna be on his way. I think it's a little bit of a flip, which is, I think, unnecessary considering you are up by 6 kills, a 5k gold lead, almost for the side of Snack Pack. So I think taking it a little bit slower is completely fine as well.
Yeah, if you feel like the dragon is insecure or like a bit unsafe, I think it's completely fine to go back and yeah, Evo's just gonna start full clearing. They don't really care about second dragon. They look like they're completely fine just giving up second dragon and going for the third instead.
Yeah, so far we haven't seen that much priority put towards it. You can see plates are now fallen, or have now fallen. Mambo
Cybertop
Sky?
Q auto? Wait, so Mambo Sky just going into him. I'm not
Wait.
sure why he was spacing up there, but it is where it is. Cybertop does pick up another kill, and now they have a technical 4v5. I think they really should try to contest here, even having not based. They get any ward down, they can just TP down Cybertop. They really should. Here comes the TP. It's quite far back though. Evo will be alone for a little bit, but he is quite fed. Will be tanky. Danny 88 in the backlane. Search Killer does kill Night Fury. Will Danny 88 get a good ult off? Not enough damage to kill anyone, and they're going to secure this dragon off the TP of Cybertop.
It's a great TP out of Cybertop to make sure his team gets the dragon, like you said, to stall the game, if for nothing else. It is gonna be an Ocean Soul this time around, which is quite strong as well, especially into something more poke heavy, like the Caitlyn, like the Syndra. So if the side of Beast team can pick it up, it would be quite good for them. But so far, it is a 5,000 gold lead for the side of the Snek pack. You can see bot lane tower is about to get cracked as well. We'll see, can they actually secure... Ooh, first tower gold.
Oh, they got first turret in top. Mom goes Sky. Ooh, Danny about to pick up the passive. Will get the last out and should get... is dead actually, okay. But it does pick up the shutdown, so not too bad.
He's gonna get the 1-for-1. I think Cybertop might have beaten them to it in the top lane. No, sorry, Mongo's guy.
Yeah, Mongo's guy did beat them. Yeah. He did beat them to the first turret goal.
You know, it's not much, but it's something.
It is something, and I could have been a bounty as well. I'm not 100%,
I believe so.
But I think it was about. If it's a bounty, it's also really worth it. Like getting a bounty instantly is really getting you back into the game. Keeping the gold deficit at 5k. WAP might be cut out here though. Will Q hit? Q hits from Braum. This should be death, but Night Fury is moving down. So they decide against it.
Polymorph is too OP. We have gotten confirmation it indeed was a tower bounty.
Nice. And here comes the trap. Big damage. Cupcake showing he knows the combo, and man, he's dealing damage. Braum keeping him safe. Ooh, they will get passive onto Varimori. Trap again. Root who has to go, but he still has to outdo from the W, and he picks up that kill. Cupcake went ahead on Caitlyn, showing his comfortability in the combos. And how they have a gank in the top lane as well. This should be tier 2 going down if Mongo Sky does die. And they will just go for tier 2 here. They're already pushing in mid as well because Beast team's over-rotated on bot and they didn't even get anything back for it.
Evo does pop the Herald.
They're gonna get 2 charges here for sure. They basically rotated everyone down bot side, and this is the negative downside to playing this roam heavy style in mid that Danny 88 is playing. That if you don't get anything out of your roam, then you essentially lose out a lot on the rest of the map.
Yeah.
Oh, they're still fighting in the red side. Cybertop just walking around, being happy. He's big. Has a lot of gold. Not scared of anything.
No, Danny 8 by it as well, trying to do as much as he can, but so far still the stopwatch in his inventory, trying to save it for a rainy day to see if he can keep himself alive maybe one more time. Protobot is now completed as well. All mythics and first items have came through for everyone in the game, which means the damage is gonna start to go up. Varimori as well getting the Kraken Slayer. Big spike coming out of him. Still needs the Navori, I feel like, to really be able to do anything in this game. But once he gets the Navori, I feel like with the support out of WAP, he really can look to potentially carry this game. He can do a lot of damage, especially into Evo, who's quite short range on the Nocturne, as well as Sushi Killer, who really doesn't have great ways to kill the Zaya. You can just sort of Featherstorm the Unleashed Power, and you should be completely fine. So I think for the most part, Varimori is gonna be the crunch point when it does come to the Beast comp, as well as Mom Goes Sky and Night Fury. I think Danny 8x8, I think if he doesn't get access to the backline, I think it's kind of whatever.
We
Manta
could ult him back into tower. 2 tower shot. This should be a kill again. W goes out. Does flash out. Here comes Evo. A bit of a maybe overcommit. I feel like he could have picked it up on his own, but kill secure nonetheless, and being level 12, Nocturnal is a bit of a less cooldown. You can just use it.
Yeah, you can say it's already a quarter way to come back, so I think Evo's not gonna be too sad about committing the cooldown there. Night Fury is gonna pick up some CS in the bot lane. Baron now is gonna be on the cards in about 30 seconds, so definitely both junglers need to be a little bit careful about entering the bot side this heavily, but so far, just some CS picked up for both sides.
Yeah, we can definitely see this is a thing that Nocturne does where Mom Goes Sky feeling like a bit of more of a split pusher. He generally likes to push deep in the side lane, and you get punished so... Oh, damage onto WAP. Does force the ulti. I respect ulti and Shirley's. I think it's good play coming out of the WAP. Should be dead otherwise. But yeah, Nocturne really shuts down side lane pressure because he can always be in your side lane. And like we see there, even Cybertop was basically winning that fight, but let's assume they were like even. Then Evo coming in basically seals the deal from Mumgo Sky no matter how the situation is. And now they're ahead of time on the objective and trying to get a bait kill here in the bushes.
Yeah, and like you said, Paranoia isn't gonna be that low of a cooldown with the ultimate hunter that Evo, I assume, is running, should be running. And you can see the Paranoia is already back up when it does come to Evo, so definitely, like I said, well used cooldown. And that's why, like you said, it's so dangerous to be in a side lane against this champion, because with the press of a button, he's just there. He
He's just
just
flying over
exists.
the map.
He's in your walls.
Yeah, he's in your walls. He lives in your walls. He's always there. Just like Lek is always in our hearts. God bless.
Oh,
We love
I
Ice
miss
Hockey.
Lek.
We do miss Lek. We will see him again next year, hopefully, or soon. Maybe somewhere else. Who knows? But we pray for our boy. Anyway, Manga Sky can't get any side lane pressure going, and here comes Evo again. Man, I love side laning against Nocturne. It is tough. He does get unstoppable, so he won't get CC'd by the tether. Good mechanical play, but it is not enough, and he does go down. There is 2 people bot side now, though, so they could look to hard engage mid. They do see Cupcake. They're going to go in here. Jarvan does come in. Does have Ghost and Flash. Does decide to flash here. Is kiting backwards. Still dealing damage. Cybertop is just so tanky. If they get the passive... Oh, stunned, scared of the weak. Q comes in, but Danny Date in the backline. Nitro trying to go in again. Ult from Cassandra to try to feel out the Akali. Does go in again. Trap should come in though. Will be rooted. Instant death for Danny 88. And Evo disengages from his ult. Has to flash. Still quite fine. Does pick up 1 kill.
Oh, it's getting tighter.
It's getting tighter.
As well. Unfortunate 0-7 on Mongo's path though, not having a great game for himself. Unfortunately, the side of Beast just end up not being able to commit themselves to the Baron with two people on the bot side, and a great TP out of Sushi Killer in the replay as well.
That scatter is great, forcing everything out of weapon. Evo's on the backside here, which means everyone turns on him, while Akali just Sonias gets trapped and dies, and Evo just kind of walks out. He does flash in the end, which he doesn't really have to, but it's a safety flash. I kind of respect it. Going down there would have been bad for the tempo of the team of Snek, so not too bad.
Yeah, it ends up being Baron not picked up on live, as they ended up having to back away, unfortunately. So, for now, the Baron is going to stay on the cards, but an 8,000 gold lead for the side of Snack. 3 minutes until the next dragon is going to spawn. And looking at the
WAP is going to
items,
walk into
Evo...
Nocturne here. Does he? Oh, it doesn't ult him. He should see it, though. They're going to see Akali, so he's completely solo.
He's fine.
He is fine. WAP, apparently, a big chat, is not intimidated by anything.
Of course not. He's the WAP. He's already died 3 times. It's fine.
That is true. The WAP, I mean, man, the sports being the goats, the chads. WAP actually has gone for a lot of aggressive warding, and he's gotten away with it most of the time, having that early game scuffle at the Raptors where he walked into Sushi Killer, being a bit of a haha moment. He just looked at him and then walked away. I word your jungle, don't care about it. And Momgo Sky is looking to, but he has the entire team of Snake back behind him, and Sushi Killer is gonna ult, and he is dead, unfortunately. Danny 88 on the rotation, but here is Evo, gets the fear. Trying to ult out, but shut down onto Caitlyn. Awesome stuck in the middle of the team of B, so double kill going over to Saya actually. Not the best situation, but they do have all their main carries still here, and Paranoia, so I don't think they're going to be able to convert Baron. Possibly mid-turret though. We'll see if Sushi Killer manages to hurry over to wave clear.
I think this is just gonna force Sushi Killer opting for the blue buff instead. 2 big shutdowns though onto Venomori I think is huge for the side of the Beast. This is where the men you need the gold on. And you can see 9,000 gold, 2k in his pockets
He's actually
with him.
even with Caitlyn, which is crazy if you think about it.
Yeah, he's up on CS though.
Oh yeah, but like 5 CS, but it's still up gold. Quite good.
Uh, It might be 5 CS, but that's like some gold.
That is some gold. That is about 100 gold.
It's more gold than if he was up with 4 CS.
That is true. 5 is bigger than 4. That's quick math.
True.
Well, now it's even 7
It's
CS. He's winning
growing,
hard.
actually. I would
Showing
like to
dominance in
see.
the ADC section.
I
To
would
be
like to
fair,
see Benimori opting for an LDR third.
yeah.
Yes, there's the
Yeah,
last
LDR.
whisper.
He should go LDR for sure.
Yes.
LDR third is this kind of weird thing though, where you buy LDR third, it's like you're kind of behind. If you buy it fourth, you know you're ahead. So buying it fourth feels better, but buying it third is like a necessity. And they're rotating on Man, Momgo Sky is having a tough
The
time,
Baron,
man.
though.
There is a Baron, so they're probably gonna convert Baron, but I feel for my brother in top lane. Oh god. He's not 090. They are gonna convert Baron. This is entirely free, so it's not that bad actually. Like that death is completely fine from the side of Mongo's guy. Getting Baron is way more worth than getting the kill there. They might convert mid and bot turret, but completely fine from the side of Beast being behind. Denying the Baron is really good.
You know, I like them. I like Mongo's guy's sort of attitude here. He's like, I'm already 0-8. Going on 9 is not bad. Is not bad.
He's building Hullbreaker too. He's just gonna continue going. Don't take the Danny. They don't have the Lee syndrome.
Do it.
Don't do it.
Do it.
It's not worth it, bro.
Oh, I didn't do it.
It's not worth it, man. And they're gonna
That's
convert
it.
third Dragon here, so after this it will be Soul Point. And it will be kind of synced up, or... I think Dragon should be a bit earlier than Baron, but it will be kind of close on the timers. It will be like a 20-second difference. So we'll have to see if Beast decide to bait the Baron instead of just... Oh, engage happening. Straight onto Saya. No, does have the ult. Flash out of WAP, they are trying to disengage,
Great shield.
but they get a lot of summoners just for the ult, and they're still stuck in here. Syndra going to deal damage, Cybertob in the middle, but he's tanky. Danny on the flank though, could be scary for Cupcake. Does ult in, missing the E, Cybertob is just immortal, tanking an entire team, is still half HP. Syndra dealing an enormous amount of damage right now, does ult the Volibear back, does kill Momgo Sky, and now they should just go to Siege mid most probably, although Baron might put a stop to their plans.
Yeah, and this is kind of what I mentioned with Danny 8x8, in my opinion, being kind of a non-factor this game with Doc Holly, just because he can't really jump his way in. I don't think there's any good targets for him to kill outside of Cupcake. Unfortunately, it doesn't end up going or succeeding this time on around. Still long death timers on Danny 8x8 and Mongo Sky, about 20 seconds on each. And you can see Hacks, he's finally done it. The hull breaker has been completed for the ultimate volleyball.
He's going, baby! Evo
He's
finding these
zooming.
angles against Beasts. The easiest find. And the fact that they passed into this bush here is kind of awkward because now they're pretty much stuck here. And Cybertob is straight up immortal. He's kiting 4 people. He's just there existing as a unit. And yeah, Danny 88 can't really find the play on the back line since everyone basically turned to focusing down.
Yeah. It's a little bit rough, I feel like, for him, just because
Look, he got a
of
turret,
he's
dude.
playing against.
Hullbreaker value.
Oh, big.
He did it. To be fair, he's still applying pressure
Uh-oh.
inside, so sure he's 0-10-0. It's not Bowser's law, it's not optimal. But he is still applying pressure, which is really important.
What?
Ooh, WAP is very dead. And here comes Danny 88, but he's gonna run away.
And he's gone. Look
He's
at Danny
gone.
8x8. He's the type of person, he goes in, zoom, and he's gone.
They're just gonna siege mid, I think, and then try to rotate up top side. I would do it. They're gonna go kill Mongo Sky again. No, not like this. Run,
No,
brother.
no.
Run. They're coming for you, dog. Run.
Not
No,
again.
it's Evo. Run. Oh god, it's everyone is here again, man. Oh
Cryocon.
god. No.
No.
And let's see, Cybertop is gonna have a similar situation in the top lane. There's an entire team here too. He's gonna flash out. He's staying alive for now. If they fast push bot lane and he stalls for long enough, this could be entirely fine from the side of Snek. Like, he's so tanky, they're not gonna catch him. Yeah, it's taking so much time killing him here. Oh, it does go in, actually. It does go down quickly there. They will, though, get this bot turret. And WAP, trying to protect this turret, he should be very... He should be very dead if he stays here. Oh god, here he comes, here's Evo! No! Run, WAP! It's not
He's
worth it, man. It's
running.
just a turret. No. And they're gonna get another pick. And they're gonna continue sieging. Saya is actually top right now, and they don't have any wave clear unless it's Saya because they have a Kali. So this is gonna be bot hit going over to the side of Snek Pack.
Yeah, gonna also pick up the inhibitor mid inhib broken earlier on as well. A gold lead at 10,000 now for the side of Snack Pack. So far, it's been a great game from them, I think.
Did Mongo's guys is running out bot again? Ah, he's going!
He's
He's actually
going!
engaging! Cupcake is in a bit of an awkward position. Does E. Here's the passive. W trap into Q, auto root, and he is dead again. No! He really
He
wants to
just
split push.
spawned! He's
This
dead
is where
again!
you pin your hull breaker because Jarvan was next to you and you're like, I'm hunting alone, bro. Why are you here?
Yeah, this is where you're like, I would have won that if you weren't here, by the way, for this whole fight.
Exactly. On the other side, Snek Pack really finding their flow this game and just forcing team fight situations and really putting a wrench from the side of Beast where they like doing more of these split push, but Nocturne really shutting it down for them. I think it has been the biggest problem for them, that the fact that Nocturne can just cover all the side lanes.
Yeah, definitely. But I do think with Madamori finally getting the LDR, might be able to start cracking Cybertop a little bit with the Lord Dominic's completed and should be able to get that armor pen in. He's their main tool, I still think, to win this game, especially with paired up with a Lulu. If you can buff up that Zaya, I think you might be able to potentially turn this game around,
It
but
does
it's
deal
gonna come down
damage.
to execution.
But here we have the Beast team taking a note out of Snek Pack's playbook and rotating on the Cassandra top. That going in. I don't think he has the damage to kill. Sabatop even switching back to the tag form to be even tanky just to stall for time. Meanwhile, Dragon, everyone's just waiting on Dragon. They're having a little tea party.
Ocean
It's
Soul.
going to go down. They're gonna run directly to Baron after this, most probably, since Beast team is busy handling bot, and the only one who can wave clear efficiently is actually Saya on the team of Beasts. So she kind of has to stay in base, and she is the main powerhouse, as you mentioned. So no fights should be possible. Mongo Sky still split pushing top lane. He's
He's
going for the
going.
split push. If he do
He's
not,
going.
do not. Okay, thank you. He's walking back. Good job.
He's dead.
He's fine.
He's fine. See, it's the whole breaker.
If he walked up, he was dead, but he's fine.
They're so scared to engage onto him because he's got hold breaker.
No, they just don't know where he is. They think he's
They
based.
fear. Wait, Mom goes Sky, he's
This
hunting.
is still a 5v5 team fight, but they're don't know Night Fury is here, so he could go for this. Here's Mom goes
He's
Sky.
going.
Vision. Oh, they know Jarvan's here now. So now, are they gonna go for the 50-50 flip? No. K'Sante ulting him out. He does ult the Volibear out, so Night Fury is in it. Smite does go over to the side of Evo. Oh, actually, Sidra gets it. Here comes the ult from Nocturne, and now they're stuck here because they tried to go for the steal, and they're gonna get chased down by a Snek Pack that has Ocean Soul. Very unkillable. No way anyone's gonna die here. And they should start pushing top lane immediately. Just convert the inhibitors for safety and then probably end the game.
Yeah, probably. I think you can just tank these towers, honestly. With Pyokon and Cupcake, they're both quite tanky.
Yeah, they kind of have to wait for minions due to the way the armor interacts. So when minions are close to turret, the armor goes drastically lower to prevent kind of backdooring cheese strats. I'm gonna have another fun lesson from the old days where you could play AP Zinzao and tank turrets forever. Very fun.
Ooh, I miss full lifesteal Zinza, where you just auto twice and then you just only take 3 life.
That was also good. Here comes the Sire ult. Evo in the backline. WAP is being sad once again. Great feathers coming out from Vadamori. Actually dealing a lot of damage here. Could be a pretty decent fight, but Ocean Soul might sustain the side of Snek. Sushkill go quite low though. They are life stealing a bit right now, but Evo might go down. Damage coming out from Cupcake though, peeling him back. Here is Momgo Sky. Does have a
He's
passive goes
going.
down. WQ. Trap is there. It does
There
go
he
down to the
goes.
Caitlyn. The Brawl passive W combo from Kate. Too strong. And now they're all going to be full HP. Another trap combo. Does kill Night Fury. And another ult coming out of Cybertop. Will try to kill the WAP. And
Oh!
great feathers. With no kills. That's a game. The stat line is 2-1 for Saya with 346 farm. Vadimor is still farming like an insane madman. Kind of like a reckless type of playstyle.
It is just... yeah, I feel like it was a really great game. Coming out from the side of Snipe Pack, I feel like especially Evo on the Nocturne really did what he needed to do that game, like you said, got caught out on the side lane or got the catch on the side lane so many times onto Mongo's guy, and Mongo's guy just having a little bit of a rough game for himself.
Definitely a bit of a more rough game. Is there any changes you would like to see? I feel like the pivotal point for the side of Snek was the Nocturne really allowing like Snek Pack to win the jungle matchup, and I think if they can get a winning jungle matchup, they will be fine. I feel like Nocturne is their preferred pick, so I would see it banned out. Is there any other change you would like to see, Dessa, from the side of Beast to really win the next game?
I think Night Fury didn't, for me, look too confident on the Jarvan. I don't know whether it was the Jarvan or whether it was because he was playing as Nocturne or with the lane setups, but I don't think he really got that much done. I think he spent a lot of time in lanes but didn't really get much done on the Jarvan, so potentially switched up that around for another champion. And I think as good of a pick as the Volibear was in the early game, I think potentially look to switch up the top side. I think the bot side for the side of Beast, I think, went relatively well. Especially Vademori. I think he was, like I said, the main key for them to win the game pretty much throughout that entire game for me. So I think for the most part, the bot side was fine. I would like to see a different champion than Jarvan. I think Night Fury, if he's on something he's comfortable on, can be such a strong tool for the side of the Beast Team esports and definitely can lead them to victory. I don't think Jarvan is it, but I think a switch up of junglers for me would probably make the difference.
Definitely agree on that. I also think there are like certain things that, because I'm pretty sure like Danny at date on Akali, he looked comfortable, but it's not really the play style they want to play with Vadamori. They don't really want to play these hyper aggressive type comps. They want to play this type 5v5 peel comps in a sense. Maybe having a split pusher so they can force 4v4s. Because Vadamori is basically their main win condition, it seems like. So going back to Rihanna would be preferable. And I think if they want to do that, they want to secure blue side. Because then they will either force the ban on Oriana or they will try to like get Jinx or something else. So like, unless they commit two bans, Oriana and Jinx, they will get either of those two champions.
Yeah, I'm expecting a side swap here. I think Beast looked a lot better on the blue side when they got their hands onto the Orianna or the Syndra, and that's what I'm expecting. But we're gonna have to find out. Gonna head into a small little pause while we wait for them to swap sides, potentially swap sides. Who knows if they're gonna swap sides? Maybe Beast team wants a change of heart, but apparently we do know. Can we get the information before we go on break? Beast team has swapped over to blue side. So we are gonna see if it is gonna be the Oriana banned away, the Syndra potentially picked up, and we're gonna have to find out very soon, guys. Don't go anywhere. We're gonna be right back.
Call down the reckoning to bring back hope and peace, restore our Gloria to live forever. Bring down the dark regime and know how to unleash eternal power. Lead us to order.
Welcome back, everybody. Beast Team Esports versus the Snecker Peckers on the other side. 1-1 at the moment. We have an even series for ourselves, which means it is all gonna come down, my friend Hacks, to game number 3 between these two teams.
Definitely an exciting game. And we have seen game one, Vadimori coming out with the hyper carry was close in game two, unfortunately. They had some issues dealing with the Nocturne from Evo, losing the early game that time around. So, we're going to have to see how they will adjust. And actually, Snackpack having adjusted, putting the Jinx ban second, they're actually also banning the Syndra from Sushi Killer. And they're not. Okay, that is a special ban. They banned Nocturne on the side of Snackpack.
Interesting.
special.
Oriana left open.
Yeah, because I feel like they would have liked to ban Oriana or Belveth, being the two champs. I think Night Fury, being a strong Belveth player, has typically been banned in these series. But they are instead opt to ban the Nocturne, which is a bit special.
Yeah, I think I would have liked to see them leave. I think if you're gonna not ban both, you're gonna have to leave one of them open.
You could
Because
have
they
gambled,
either they either have to
Be-
prioritize the Oriana or the Nocturne. Right?
Exactly, yeah. You could have banned. Oh, they take the Belveth. Never mind. Perfectly fine. So what I was going to say is that you could have kept either Nocturne or Oriana up and take either of them, but they take the Belveth. So I like that too, because that's the ban I was thinking about, because I didn't think Evo played Belveth, but here he is busting it out. We're gonna have to put a prayer in that he actually wins, unlike G2's jungler at Worlds, who never won a game on Belveth. Praise. Prayer for him.
Fire.
What do you mean?
Hold on.
What do you mean? It was
Throwing fire.
It is true, bro. He got gapped by Paula Faker, the god of NA. They do pick Caitlyn again. Will be blind pick, but I would not be surprised to see them pick up Saya again. If they don't pick up a ADC here, I'm pretty sure they're gonna ban out two hyper carries from the side of Vadimori, which I think would be kind of bad for the side of Beasts. Although there are certain things open like Kog'Maw and whatnot that they could pick. And how many hyper carries are there? There's Saya, Kog'Maw,
Varus?
Sivir, Varus is meh. It's mostly those two, I would say. So you could ban out, unless he plays Aphelios, but he does pick the Sivir.
It's gonna be the Silver. What would you like to see paired up with the Silver? I know we normally see her paired up with enchanters, things like Lulu. For example, I doubt Lulu is gonna be open after the banning phase, so considering they are gonna probably ban enchanter supports away, what sort of pairings do you expect coming alongside the Silver?
I honestly don't really care. I don't think they should ban out enchanters. I would prefer to see them ban. Oh, okay, that's a special one. Morgana, huh?
Ooh.
Interesting. I would actually prefer to see them ban out, what do you call it, top laners.
There you go.
Like Fiora. But they could ban out enchanters as well. Probably Lulu is Prio and Renata, I would say.
Yeah, this is something we are used to seeing when you look in an early hyper carry. Generally, Renata and Lulu are the two sort of supports that people tend to opt in towards nowadays. Although Caitlyn Morgana is old as times, this is ancient tech. Manuscripts have been read on the side of the snack pack, and they are opting in for what seems like ancient magic.
Yeah, so Sivir will be safe. The question is what the WAP is going to pick, because one binding does mean death, and we have seen that Cupcake, living up to his name, I guess, because of the cup. Wait, we're just picking a brawl.
Wait.
Is it Morgana mid?
Wait,
That is a Morgana mid.
it's a Morgana mid!
Ew. Actually
had
funny,
me
because I think
fooled.
Beast team in the past actually picked Morgana jungle, so that's kind of funny. Okay, Morgana mid. I guess for the Belveth, getting the spell shield, being more supportive. Although, interesting. I haven't seen Morgana. I actually have no idea how Morgana mid works nowadays. I'm assuming it's not the best, but you do get the spell shield for Belveth. But this means all our eggs are on the Morgana, essentially.
They are in the Morgana basket, you could say,
Yes.
so to speak.
I mean, it's not the worst pickup. Like, it's really good for the way they play with traps and spell shield for Belveth, so not the worst. I just don't know how the lane works.
It is the Milio on the other side, which another support
Yes.
another enchanter option that was left open. Jax in the top lane, Mr. Jaximus himself. What sort of top lane answer do you expect out of Snek?
I would not be surprised to see, like, Pop is a traditional counter you could pick. Garen is also a good counter. I would not be against the Garen. Typically very hard for Jax to play against. You screw the Q, he's silenced, you spin on him, he can't counter strike you, then you press ult. very easy peasy, and will shut down the split. Cassante, kind of fine. I don't think it's like a winning or losing matchup.
I mean, Cassante is one of those champions that just great at neutralizing sort of any aggressive lanes that comes. Jax is granted not the most aggressive laner in the world, but still great at sort of neutralizing, shutting down lane, making sure that you can play safe and still scale on into the late game. But from my understanding, the way that Morgana mid works, it's very similar to Morgana jungle in a sense where instead of pressing W on jungle camps, you press W on the wave and then you emote in the wave and say teehee. And that's your entire game plan. And maybe if you get bored, you can go onto other lanes. Maybe. But that's optional. That's a DLC package.
That's a DLC package, okay. Yeah, definitely. I mean, I agree. I think it's quite fine. And I think the only thing I don't like, I think it's kind of fine because they did lose bot lane last time. Sivir kind of neutralizing the Kate to a degree. We'll have to see if the Milio can manage to stay alive. I like the Milio pickup. I think Milio is one of these strong supports. I know my boy, Rain D, if you're watching, he knows I'm a big Milio fan. I do like the Cosmic Insight. And Milio, really good with hypers, giving you the W, you get extended attack range, which is huge, and if you have lethal temper, you get even more attack range. So, quite strong, and I like it for hypers.
Yeah, I think generally why I like Milio against Caitlyn is because generally ADC struggle to get outranged by Caitlyn. You struggle because most ADCs can't match the attack range outside of champions like Senna, for example, and Tristana later on into the game. Not in the early game though, just because of Tristana's passive where she gets attack range per level. But Milio is one of those things where if you just press W, pretty much any ADC in the game can match the range of a Caitlyn. So it'll be interesting to see how they end up using that on the side of Snack Pack. I doubt they are gonna, or there's gonna be a lot of play around waves, I think, just because both of these lanes are pretty poke heavy. On the equal side, Caitlyn obviously has a lot of range, but Milio does a deceptive amount of damage with his Q if you can bounce it right.
Mm.
So I'm definitely expecting for a lot of sort of in and out, a little weaving, lot of dancing down in the bot lane.
Definitely a bit of dancing. I think Emilia's also quite good because Morgana Q being a root, you can actually cleanse with the ult. And you can also cleanse the Braum stun if it's on a high prior target. We did see that whenever the Braum passive got triggered, Cupcake has like some form of auto script putting down a trap. He basically never missed a stun, which I think is actually kind of impressive. Most Caitlyn's will miss like at least one or two traps. I think it literally didn't miss like a single stun. Like he always put down a trap. It was like a force of habit almost. So I kind of like the Milio being able to cleanse you out. It gives you a bit more leeway, especially for the Sivir. Although I do think she should be relatively safe with spell sheet. They have like double layers of safety for Vedamori. Now he just needs to get 300 farm and hopefully win the game.
Yeah, hopefully, right?
Hopefully.
Like, okay, what is your prediction for this game? Who do you think is gonna take it?
I think it completely depends on how the jungle matchup goes early. I think if Belveth starts off on the back foot, I think Beasts are going to close it out, especially since they have Orianna again, and Orianna proved to be a enormous problem last time for the side of Snek. They got like so many 3-man, 2-man ultis and on the backline targets, so Orianna might be an issue. But if Belveth starts to accelerate the game, I think they could be completely fine because Danny 8-8 does have this tendency of over roaming and falling a bit behind. And that's easier to do if you're actually behind in jungle because if you're behind in jungle, it's harder for a mid laner to do any proactive plays because you're kind of fighting 2v1. So you can't, like, even if Danny it leaves mid, the jungler can come in fill and possibly kill you if he's ahead. But if Belveth is ahead, then you will free up Sushi Killer to take those plates, scale ahead, and get early items and roams of his own. So I think it really comes down to jungle matchup early game. And then after that, there will have to be some proactive plays from the other side to come back if they do lose it.
Yeah, I think a lot of this game is gonna hinge on the early game as well. Just because we've already talked about it, Caitlyn, a great champion if you can snowball with her. We saw it last game, right? Compare last game Caitlyn to first game Caitlyn, an entirely different champion. If you can get a little bit ahead in the early game, which is what we saw Cupcake do as well. And this is our third Caitlyn of today as well. So this is something that he should by now be comfortable on, something that he's already played twice during the series, and as well as the Braum pairing, the exact lane they had previously. So this should be, I think, a good sign for the side of the Snacks. And for the Snakies, I think I personally prefer their comp over the side of the Beast, although Danny 8x8, I think on the Oriana, especially if he's got someone like a Wukong to carry the ball, can definitely turn games around. And we've already seen it. A lot of good shockwaves in the first game.
We'll have to see if Night Furies can get ahead in the Wukong. I think it will really depend. I do think even if top goes bad, like in this case, it doesn't really matter if Mob goes Sky. Last game, he had a rough time against Cyber and the Casante. I honestly don't think top lane won't be the key to winning the game. It will definitely help whichever side wins it. But I think it's more influential whoever wins bot side and jungle matchup is more important. So yeah, well, let's see. I'm really curious. Like, I think it's gonna be a rough lane for the side of Sivir Milio. One binding should be def, and they won't have cleanse until level 6. And Milio, probably not the one that has any cleanse or similar type of summoner. So, well, let's see. And I think it's nice because now, wait, I can have Braum. I forgot to have Braum. Still Braum. Still similar idea, I guess.
Well, the same thing. Morgana and Braum, pretty similar.
I can't let go of the Caitlyn Morgana thing in my head. It's like so deeply etched.
I'm telling you, it's the ancient tech.
Ancient deck.
It's
I do
an
prefer them
amazing
putting it mid though. I don't think Morgana support is that good. It is fine though.
I think Morgana support into something like a Sivir isn't like great, especially when you know the enemy's gonna pick an enchanter. Morgana tends to be not too great into enchanters. So I think it is a good swap up from them to put it in the mid lane. And we didn't see it coming. What I'm wondering is this potentially something that the side of Beasts didn't see coming, and potentially something that caught them maybe off guard and surprised them a little bit as well. Granted, I don't think it really changes much for Danny 8x8 in the mid lane when he does get his hands on the Oriana, but I think just a little funny thing to me, I think, would be to know whether or not the side of the Beast did end up seeing this coming.
I think they were kind of unprepared for the Belveth. I think they were kind of surprised by the Nocturne ban, but I do think they drafted similarly to how they would have drafted anyways. I think they would have first picked Oriana regardless, as long as it was open. I don't think they would have first picked Nocturne.
Yeah, I think
go
that's
for
definitely
it.
fair, especially considering Danny 8x8 on the Oriana, very proficient player. But finally, on our way onto the Rift for Game 1, you can see already an early W and some early aggression out of Sushi Killer in the mid lane.
No spicy invades happening, and Night Fear is actually not contesting the vision in the river on the blue side, so maybe they look to get like a bit of a deep vision in on blue side, like later on, just before the clear starts happening. We'll have to see.
Yeah, I think you definitely can opt in for it. You can see as well, like you said, a pretty standard start coming out of everyone. Sushi Killer is gonna opt in for a recall, I think, in the mid lane. Did end up burning a bit of his mana pool. Yeah,
We
he's
get
gonna go back to base.
Can we get gold right now? Did Jax manage to finishing free gold? He's one lane, man. New Jax passive is so good. He's already ahead.
Okay.
The
Big.
goat. Oh, he's fishing again. Oh, let's
Wait.
see it. Wait,
Wait.
wait. Gotta hold it. Wait for
Wait.
the fish. Patience.
Okay.
Woo! One gold, baby.
Big.
He's 4 gold ahead already. This is kleptomancy working its best right now.
Imagine if he had a real weapon. Imagine.
But then he couldn't fish.
What do you think he had a real fishing? If he
He
had a
had
real
a
weapon.
weapon fishing rod, like a bayonet, but like a fishing rod or what?
Dude, then you could net your enemies. You could say it is net worth.
Oh my god, here we go again. We're back with the references, baby. You can see that it's been 2 games already today. Oh, WAP
Yes,
might be
sir.
eating a passive here. Oh, does get the passive.
That's
Big
a
damage
lot
from
of
Cupcake.
damage.
Still dominating this lane with the Braum. Really making it work with this Braum passive. And regarding jungle, we do see Evo is going to be pathing down to his bot. I do like to see him path down to his bot. I think it's one of the more appropriate places. Looking for an early gank here, maybe, on to Momgo Sky. Realizing that Momgo Sky is weak to getting ganked. Oh, here we go. Gets the
So
slow.
it begins.
And here has 2. It has Q, so he's completely fine. Dodges everything. He's got the fancy feet. He's chilling. But not a lot of time lost for the side of... Oh, actually, there's an interception here from Night Fury, trying to punish the fact that he went for the gank. This
No
could be
knock-up?
bad. Oh, there's the knock-up. Here comes Oriana, though. They have speed. Here comes the dash.
Flash?
And flash. He's dead. Getting punished for his greedy pathing. Needed to path through his own jungle. And Night
Yeah.
Fury showing that he still has the hands to really punish these aggressive ganks from Evo.
We generally don't see that much attention given to lanes if you're Belveth until level 6. Until you get those corrals in, you want to play for the first Herald Spike as well. And an early gank coming out of Evo doesn't end up working out for him, and already the pressure in the bot lane out of Cupcake, this is what we were talking about all day, wanting to see when people do end up picking the Caitlyn, already pressuring, already getting the push, and already getting some early plays.
They have cracked the code. Braum was the key. Belveth does die for that gank topside, but he actually managed to secure Crab, it looks like, and will be able to clear. So it's not that far behind. He does give over a kill, is all to the Jax. So swinging the top lane matchup a little bit will probably be very easy for Jax to pick up a Sheen on his first base. So that's always good for him. But Belveth does stabilize, and one plate going over already to Cupcake. Definitely what we want to see out of the Caitlyn lane.
Yeah, only 4 minutes into the game, and this is what I was talking about with the mid lane as well. It is gonna be just Sushi Killer pressing W on the wave and pretty much just AFKing in lane, but that's just the Morgana mid lane. It generally tends to be a neutralizer more than anything, just into any aggressive picks, because you are really, really hard to kill when you have the Black Shield, and you can see as well, Bademori is quite high on HP just because of how the melee works, but the WAP has been taking all the brunt of the damage, so to speak.
He's also basically so they have no fighting power and there's no way to gank now. So if you manage to get these chunks out in the lane, then it's really hard to gank like a Braum, Caitlyn, or any kind of Caitlyn, because you already chunked the enemy laner so much they basically can't fight anyway. And Sushi Killer, yes, Morgana more passive laner, but it's kind of the playstyle that Snek have been playing anyway, with Sushi Killer mostly staying mid, and Morgana probably has one of the best early shoves in the game, so I'm not entirely against it.
Yeah, definitely has a lot of wave clearing potential. You can see though, Night Fury is on the bot side of the map. Cupcake is not the most healthiest person in the world, so this would be a potential gank angle if he does want to try and go for it, although not the safest thing in the world, with, like you said, the WAP not having great resources by his side. Dragon gonna be spawning up as well. An early Infernal Drake can definitely swing things. Sushi
He's
Killer.
trying to steal the camp. Sushi Killer just trying to be annoying to Night Fury. But yeah, definitely, like you say, ganks could be good. They do decide to base on the side of Snake Pack, and I do like the base. It's like a solid base. They force a kind of mediocre base from the side of the Sivir. But yeah, this bot lane doing quite fine. If they manage to pick up 1 or 2 more plates, they're completely happy. They don't have to get any kills as long as they can keep high farm and keep Vadimori losing farm.
Yeah, I think that's the big thing, is those plates. Often on Caitlyn, you don't really need kills to get ahead of your opponent, depending on how you want to play the lane. Although you can see Night Fury up towards the top side of the map. The wave not looking great for Cybertop, although is pushing
Does have
back
a
slowly to
ward.
him.
Should see Night Fury here. It's not. Maybe it's looking for the ult onto Night Fury actually. Ooh, yeah.
Wait.
Maybe. Oh, it could have maybe ulted him actually. No flash
I'm
actually. Night Fury.
surprised that the all-out didn't come out right there.
Yeah, I would have liked the ult to come out, to be honest. And Evo trying to punish with the dragon. Sushi will cover, so he's staying safe. He's taking a lot of damage from this dragon, and oh my god, Danny could ult here actually. If he presses the ult button, it could be bad, but should be fine. Does get a bit of DPS from his Morgana. And he's gonna clean up the dragon. Punish from the gank topside, and Snakepack lose nothing on it.
Yeah, no corral gonna be gathered up
That
as
is
he's not
low.
white yet.
These plates are gonna keep dropping. That, once again, really low. Hard lane to fight against the Braum Kate.
Yeah, definitely. Especially when you got cookies on Cupcake, you get a lot more mana back. So you can use your Q a lot more liberally. So to push the wave. Even on the bot side is gonna cover his bot lane in case of any aggression, but keep your eyes on the minimap, because all the aggression is gonna be nowhere to be found. Night Fury in the top side of the map this time, and a great spell shield out of Adamori. They're gonna get some HP back as well. But the WAP again, not the highest, not the healthiest person in the world.
This cover still makes a lot of sense because the Caitlyn lanes always push quite deep. So you want to make sure you cover them if you think they're about to get ganked. And they're actually gonna get a gank off that. Walking up, here comes the W. Does get the flash and the ghost. Quite nice pressure actually from Evo. So actually even manages to get a little bit of a gank off. Not too bad.
Yeah, I think it is a good play out of Evo right there.
Yeah, I mean, it does net them like maybe like one more plate later on. So like he does lose a bit of jungle efficiency, but Belveth he's still even in CS with Wukong, having a faster clear than Wukong, so kind of fine from the side. And now all of his camps are up and he can go for like a really solid, efficient clear.
Yeah, should be able to hit level 6 as well. Is going to end up on the top side of the map, which is kind of what you want. You want to contest the first herald after you hit 6 on Belveth just to be able to get the corral. Although, you do see Night Fury is going to start the herald on up, so this is potentially a steal coming out from the Beast team.
Yeah, he's probably going to get this. Seeing Belveth bot side, he reacts by going to Herald, and I think the Jax is a bit stronger right now than the K'Sante, so they don't really want to take a 3v3. K'Sante with Sheen, and K'Sante having opted into Ninja Tablet doesn't really deal a lot of damage, so I think it's completely fine. Also, I think Orianna has a bit more impact than a Morgana right now. Yeah, it's too late. Gotta give it up. You realize too late, then you just have to give it up. But that's completely fine. That's just the choice you made for trying to accelerate your bot lane, which I think is completely fine. I mean, it's like a 30 CS lead down in the bot lane.
Yeah, Cole as well on Venom Murray has sort of just he's made his inner peace with sacking the lane. He sort of just said, "Hey, this is fine. We're just gonna be under tower for most of the part." So I think Night Fury should just opt in to get other lanes ahead. I don't think you should look to really get your bot lane. I don't want to say back into the game because Vanamore is by nowhere out near out of the game. But I think just opt to get other lanes ahead. I think avoid your bot lane for now. Unless you can get Danny 8 by 8 down there with you somehow, there's going to be a lot more kill pressure. But I would love to see Night Fury just opt in for other lanes instead and just not visit that bot lane.
I think the optimal play would be to organize like a really solid four-man roam down bot, and then you could herald because he does have the herald, and if you can herald for his Sivir, that's like a solid way to get the economy back up. And I mean, you do want to accelerate your carry because I think Vadamora has always been the main win condition for this team. So I don't think it's bad, but you have to do it in a really controlled manner. I think if he ganks on his own, the risk is really high that they just worsen the situation in the bot lane.
Yeah, it's. I think it's really scary because the tragedy would be if you go down bot lane and you lose the fight. I think I don't like saying the game is over that early on, but I think if you lose a fight down towards the bot side of the map, the game is gonna get really, really hard for you to play because the cupcake is gonna be so accelerated. It is a little bit of an in-game pause as there are some, I would assume, technical difficulties with one of the players, but we are gonna get back into the game as quickly as we can. Gold is even currently only one kill in the game, 9 minutes in. The one kill is gonna be on Mom Go Sky, and of course with that being said, the Cassante Jax matchup hasn't been too exciting so far.
Nah, but it's kind of to be expected if none of the players are really willing to, or if the Cassante is not willing to commit, then nothing will quite happen. And Cassante, as you said, he probably mostly wants to neutralize the matchup. He doesn't really care about winning it super hard. So I think it's kind of fine. Especially when the red buff was given over early game, it's hard to cement a solid lead because you really want to use Casante's early game. When Jax hits level 6, he's a solid champion on his own, and I think it's a bit harder to really get any advantages as Casante. But yeah, I think the pivotal point will be the Dragon coming up because then they will have a chance to actually team fight for the bot side together as a team. And they do have Orianna, they do have Wukong, they do have some tools. Although I think Snackback will be marginally stronger due to the Caitlyn having more items.
Yeah, Dragon is gonna be up in 2 minutes, so there is still some time until that. Still some more time for Cupcake to collect a couple more plates. Maybe get a Storm Razor in his pocket before that. And I think for the side of Beast, I would like to see them not potentially contest for the first dragon just because of how strong Cupcake is. Sushi Killer in the mid lane as well is weak by no means and can definitely put some hurt onto people. Level 8 on both mid laners as well. And Sushi Killer might be potentially into a first item by the time the dragon spawns. 2 minutes is still a quite far away. But the CS numbers as well look pretty even all across the map outside of that bot lane where Cupcake, like you said, Hacks, is about 30 CS up.
Yeah, and that's mostly as the consequence of the lane. So yeah, but we'll have to see how they contest the objectives. I think it's really gonna come down to that. They would prefer to get a pick early game. As you mentioned, Sushi Killer, I think it's the most annoying is the bind because you can't really walk in against the Caitlyn. Well, it's you can, but it's really scary. If you get binded, you're most likely dead. So we'll have to see. But yeah, I think this dragon, it's actually the second. If they manage to get this on the side of Snackback, I think they have a really solid way of continuing the game, just stacking dragons and like a clear win con presented to them.
Yeah, especially with, like you said, and we've already seen, bot lane should have prior for pretty much 90% of the game, unless something funny does happen. Cupcake has been having the push power. And the thing is, as well, Vademari generally, with him being on the Sivir, a Sivir as a champion needs to expend a lot of mana to push the wave, whereas Cupcake, pretty much one Q should do it, and then just a couple of autos, especially if he does get some help from Priocon. So definitely, I feel like the Snek Pack bot lane have an easier time to push the lane than Beast Team does, especially considering, like you said, the item lead at the moment on Cupcake does have the Kershi Shard and the extra dagger in his inventory, to the only Noon Quiver and the one dagger on Vedemori. So definitely a little bit of a lead in the bot lane for the South Snacks.
Yeah, Sivir needs a bit of time to get the wave clear really going. I don't think she has the wave clear quite yet compared to Caitlyn, which has wave clear from basically level 1. I do wonder though if they are going to sack this dragon, as you mentioned, because maybe the Caitlyn is a bit too strong to fight with. I do think they have options of fighting with her, but they could also opt to try and accelerate the Jax, who's already 1-0-0. And they do have Herald and Night Fear, so they could just triple man roam up top while they're fighting for dragon, get the kill onto Cassandra, and then accelerate the Jax top by putting down the Herald and just leaving most of the gold to him, and kind of playing for the split push win condition instead of the dragons.
Yeah, I think you can. I think there's a couple of ways you can do it. You can either, like you said, put the Herald up top lane, put the gold into the Jax, or then potentially put the Herald into the mid lane. I think for me, what would be interesting to see, I doubt they're gonna do it, but it would be interesting to see whether they go put the gold in the top lane and then just give all the plate gold over to Danny, because I think I value gold on Danny a lot more than I do on Mumgo Sky, just because, like you said, the top lane matchup is gonna be pretty stale. As where Danny 8x8, I feel like if he gets ahead through the mid lane, can accelerate the rest of the map a lot easier than Mumgo Sky can.
Oh, and we are almost back in the game. We have a little bit of a spectator bug, I think, but we should be back momentarily, I think.
Yeah,
Usually
it
it's just a matter
should
of
fix
loading.
itself in a little bit.
Yeah, good old Riot
It's not like
client.
Riot can make a functioning game.
No, it's not like Riot can make a real client. I think we had a discussion yesterday actually about if you win a normal or ARAM game, you can actually see your win-loss record in top left, but that's the only time you can see it in the post-game screen. You can't find it anywhere else.
You
I
know,
love Riot client.
Riot wants you to play more games to find out how many games you've played. It's
But
the
if
way
I
they track.
scribble it down on paper.
But then your house is gonna be filled with notepads all over your walls.
Yeah, but it's already is. I'm like that meme with the guy with like a lot of red stuff and he's just pointing at the wall.
Are you in a stuffed white room as well?
No, I don't have a stuffed work room and I don't have the funny shirt, unfortunately.
You don't have the funny shirt.
No, I have a hoodie.
You want the funny shirt? I have one of those.
I mean, I would love a funny shirt.
Ooh.
I mean, technically, if you have a hoodie and you put your hands in the hoodie and then you cross the hands really far, you have like a kind of like that shirt. No.
True. The only shirt I own is a shirt that has hashtag Lek on it. Lek my god. My hero.
Shameless plug for Iotopia in the semifinals.
Yes,
Gonna
sir.
come out.
Always. Always. My boy Lek.
We do love Lek.
We do
Ooh,
love Lek.
we
We
do
also
love
love
Lek.
League of Legends. And we love Cupcake. Finally
Indeed.
in the lead. I would love to see the individual goal just for the moment to see how much Cupcake has actually managed to collect for himself. Sitting on 1.2 thousand at the moment should
Ooh, they have a
have
lot
enough
of
for Stormraiser.
they have a lot of gold in the pockets right now, which is a bit suspicious. Also, Jack's having 2Ks. He won't really be able to teleport down. They're going to base. I think Snek really want to base her, but maybe they're just gonna tempo the dragon if they know that they actually based. They could tempo the dragon here. If they go immediately now and recognizing that they based, they could just go for the dragon. And yeah, I think actually Beasts are giving up the dragon with those bases. Wukong is currently, I think, topside.
The timing, it just doesn't favor the side of Beast here. Like you said, need to get the bases in and the resets. You are looking at Leandri is now complete on both mid laners, which is a lot of damage gonna be coming in through as well. Cupcake gonna get some more XP in his pockets with the dragon being killed. Gonna now opt in for the base, should have a Stormraiser and And his first item when he does go back to base with an extra dagger as well. Tier 2 boots actually gonna be completed. Cupcake is a rich man.
Okay, he's a very rich man. I think this is really good for Snek. I feel like with this, we did mention that whoever wins the jungle matchup, which technically Wukong did, but I feel like Snek have come out really solid in this early game. So they're going to be completely fine, I think. And Nightfairy will look for this play on top side to accelerate his Jax, but Cyber top, very well aware, and if he doesn't trade with the Jax, I don't think there's an angle here to really dive him. So Evo is even here, ready to counteract any play they are willing to make. But I think Cyber top is completely fine on his own, to be honest.
Yeah, I think it should be. They are gonna get the plate gold on to
Oh,
actually Mongo
that
Sky.
Q? Oh, if he got the knockback into ult into tower, they could probably have killed the Jax there. But they're kind of happy just resolving the Herald without any funny business.
Yeah, I think they were running out of time on the Herald as well. So that was a really good window out of Night Fury to be able to use that one up before the Herald does expire. We do have the Dragon spawning as well in 3 minutes and 50 seconds. It's gonna be a Mountain Soul, I do believe, which is
Oh,
can
Oriana's
be
on
really
roam
useful.
here.
98 by 8?
He's
He's on his
here.
way.
Gets the trap damage. Gold, it does get the plate. He just has to flash the Oriana ult here and he'll be completely fine. Don't greed it. Okay, very good. I think that's a really respectable flash and ult. I think it's completely fine.
Yeah,
Doesn't get
definitely.
anything out of the roam.
I would have liked for him to flash the shockwave. I think it is a respectful flash. But this does mean Danny 8x8 is gonna be able to hold on to his shockwaves kind of for free.
Cyber top. Oh, doesn't get the knockback.
So I would have liked to see him burn the cooldown first before flashing, but again, like you said, respect flash.
Yeah, it was a good stun from Priozone. I think the Braum CC'd him, otherwise he would have insta-ulted, so he just flashed on reaction from the ball, basically. But Priozone hit a great ult from his, what is it called, Glacial Fissure, to knock up the Oriana, so he couldn't hit the ult button. And yeah, Jax is showing to be a bit of a problem. We're basically trading bot for top. Turrets going down on both bot and top side, but I think this Jax could grow to be a bit of a problem for Snakepack.
Yeah, Device Under plus Mercs now completed for Mongo Sky, as well as a base coming in for Cupcake. Pickaxe in his inventory is gonna be doing quite the hurt. Evo in the mid lane though, can look, but
Route would have been good. I think they could have gone on that route.
yeah.
But it is what it is, it's not in the world. They're going to try to contest Herald here, and they do have all 5 members pulled up here, and Sivir is bot, so I don't think the Beasts can take this fight. Although I would like to see them really focus on the Herald here, because otherwise they're going to lose quite a bit on bot side due to Sivir free farming.
I think we're seeing a lot of great macro movements. Hax, this might be, if I'm not mistaken, I think the slowest game we've seen so far.
This is the most LCK type game. Damage coming out into the map. Ulti, not out of Cupcake. No vision, I guess. And they are controlling the space of the Herald. And really well. Sivir is still bot lane. They do still have TP on Cybot top, so if they decide to contest here, oh, is TP gonna come in? Oh, big shockwave again from Danny 88. And Cupcake is instantly deleted. Oh, the bind does come out. He is fine for now, but that disgusting shockwave out of Danny 88 once again. Snakepack just not used to playing around Oriana. Always gets these huge ults off. They even know he's on the flank.
I mean, it's just Danny 8x8. Every time he's on the Oriana, this man just strikes. And
Here
he
he
hits
comes.
absolutely
Oh my
everyone.
God.
Evo is the only one who manages to get away with it. At that point, it's not too late. Evo has to flash over the wall, and Danny 8x8, every time this man gets the Oriana, ends up making the difference. Herald in the mid lane as well is going to get half out of the tier 2 tower, and I mean, what a play again coming out of Danny.
Definitely. I feel like if they really wanted to contest it, they could have just committed the TP or kept Cybot top around. It would be harder for Danny 88 to walk up, and then they could just commit the TP down to bot lane after the fight has concluded to stop Sivir from taking turret. But it is where it is, and in the end, the Herald does go over. But it's not the end of the world. This is a 3k gold lead, so very solid from Beast. They also pick up mid turret, giving them a lot of map pressure. But this next dragon, I still think it is quite close for both teams. Still one item on both AD carries, still 1 item and a half almost on both mids. Even farm on the junglers as well, but maybe Cupcake will get caught here. Not yet.
Not yet. Caliburnet is gonna be going on cooldown. Third dragon of the game is going to be respawning very, very soon as well. Like we said, Mountain Soul going to be on the cards for both of these teams. Sushi Killer Walking up a little bit aggressively towards the WAP here. WAP does have the ultimates in his pocket, so should be
Binding?
relatively
Ooh, misses.
fine.
That would have been a kill probably. Well, it could have actually gotten out. Then it did a bit here, but Evo is deep. Missing the ult onto Evo though. This is quite good for the side of Snekpack. Ult does come out of Morgana, does clean Evo, but this might be 2 kills over to Snekpack. Meanwhile, Cupcake's being chased by the squad. And will go down to the side of Sivir and Milio. So kind of even trades. 3v3 still. Well, 2v2 in the bot lane and 1v1 in the top lane.
Yeah, it's gonna be a 2-for-2 at the end of the day. Cupcake ends up falling a little bit in isolation right there as Okon went to help Sushi Killer instead. They end up just pulling the trigger. I think it is great recognition on the bot lane of Beast. Even when on the Sivir, they recognize the window. They're like, hey, Cupcake is alone, we gotta go now. End up, I think, just pressing ult. As we take a look back at the replay, I think it was a great play overall. Evo a little bit overzealous here.
And they're a bit split up, and Cupcake trying to fight the left side instead of going with the team to the right. Yeah, he could have just passed over and it could have been completely fine. And they're actually contesting the dragon here on live, and there's going to be a fight. Blue team does secure the mountain, but Danny88 stuck in the pit, no flash. Stun goes down from Brom, Binding goes in, he goes down. There is a kill from Evo on the bot side onto Milio, and they also clean Vadimori on the front, so they do secure the dragon, but this swings the gold back for Snekpack, and I think that's completely fine for Snek. I think they're kind of happy with that, seeing as they already have 2 dragons.
Yeah, I don't think that's worth it if you are the side of Beast. You are looking at the stopping of the soul point for Sneks, but it's only another 5 minutes. You're looking at 2 towers in the mid lane for the Sneks to pick up, and a lot of pressure alleviated out of your K'Sante as well. A great pickup out of the team on the side of the Sneks. You can see Baron as well. Gonna be on the cards in about a minute or so, so definitely a good pickup out of them. Cupcake might have 2 items in the base here, actually. I know he's gonna be very close. Only the crit cloak.
400 gold off, probably.
Yeah, he's pretty close, I'm pretty sure. But 2 items on Sushi Killer, though.
Yeah, almost 100 gold off.
Yeah, very
He
close.
could probably sell
Blade.
Yeah, he could probably sell D-Blade to get the item, but it's nothing to really fight for yet. So I think it's completely fine that he holds it, because I don't think any team is going to contest Baron in anytime soon. They're probably going to wait a bit. Xavier doesn't have second item, no second item on the Orianna either. So I think it's just going to be kind of relaxing for a while, doing a bit of side laning, playing the local jazz music.
That's fair. You know what? I can respect people who listen to jazz. It's good beats. It is good beats.
It's perfect side laning.
Exactly.
Mongo Sky is
It's
trying to
chill
go
music,
for the
you know?
bait kill on Morgana, but the Sif Killer just happy, just clearing the way, putting Cybot top down there, and then walking away.
Yeah.
He's probably gonna go up top to match Orianna. Maybe there's a little bit of a play here though. The binding does not connect.
Cupcake might not be on 2 items, but Sushi Killer has hit the 2 item spike. Both burn items gotta be on the Morgana, and I feel like a lot of people don't expect Morgana damage because a lot of people look at her like this support who only hits bindings and black shields, but Morgana, once she gets some items, can definitely hurt a lot, especially in teamfights if you can land a multi-man ultimate.
It's also really annoying to walk into, and you already have Caitlyn, and then you have Morgana on top of that. It's really annoying to walk into this team. You have traps and then the pool coming down, poking you for quite a bit of damage, having 2 burn items, so it would be annoying for sure. It will not have the best upfront damage compared to Orianna, so they probably want to play it a bit slow. And yeah, you see Jax, he's just beating up the turret. He doesn't care about K'Sante, he just cares about the turret.
Jax moment. It's
Jax
a friendly neighborhood Jax.
Indeed. It would be kind of annoying for Snekback the longer the game goes. Unless Cybertop could find a way to actively fight him like this in the lane and try to keep him off his turret. But he'll have to play quite proactively to make that happen. And there might be contest happening. Night Fury is stuck here. Probably not going to find the binding. WAP is going to walk out. And they're just playing it safe. They know they have the split advantage. So I don't think Beasts are interested in forcing anything quite soon.
Yeah, I think it's a bit rough for Cybertop because I don't think he's ever really going to be in a position to beat out Mongo Sky in an all-out 1v1. Especially in the position they are in now, which does mean he can't just do like we saw, just ignore Cybertop entirely, go for the tower instead. He's gonna opt in for a base now, does have the TP to get back out on the map quickly if it is needed, but TP also on Cybertop, which means this bot lane sort of 1v1 doesn't really matter at the sort of bigger exchange of things when we're thinking about Baron, because both top bot laners can just TP up top if necessary.
Yeah, I think they usually want to keep the TP in case a Baron contest happens. I think both top laners kind of opting to really keep their TP around. And I think Cybertop does have options. Like he really just wants to fight Jax before he reaches tower, trying to chunk him down. But it is hard, like you say, because Jax should win the 1v1. He'll have to play this like short-term trades and then try to ult him under tower when there's no minions. It's like one of the few plays he can do. Then he has to really fight for the minion wave, which is scary, especially depending on how deep the wave is. Currently, it's in a pretty good state, being in the middle of bot lane. So we'll see the Baron contest here. They might catch WAP here. No, he doesn't have vision, but he'll be fine pathing back. And this is a bit of dancing for the objectives, but the dragon is coming up in 30 seconds, and Snek would love to pick that up, putting them on soul point, and it's actually quite good because they end up on the split side of the map, so it will be harder for Jax to really split push and Cassandra King in the fight. Probably having a bit more value in team fighting rather than side laning.
Yeah, I definitely think that Cassante does bring a lot more to team fights than the Jax is going to, despite the Jax being more in a side lane. It is sort of the 50-50 you're gonna have, where one of the champions is more useful in another environment than the other one is, and vice versa. Like you said, Dragon gonna be spawning up very soon, a Mountain Soul. Again, like I said earlier, in the play, you can see both of the bot laners might actually have to involve themselves in the game now, so Dragon is gonna get started up.
When Cybertop's like in the middle of everything, he's probably looking for Dan88 here or Vadimori. Momgo Sky is going in onto Braum. Evo is stuck in the middle of everyone. Will go down to Vadimori. Night Fury low. They're going for him. He's gonna go down to Kisante. Pryosome does get hit by Shockwave, but only Shockwave's one. Vadimori really low, and Cupcake is still alive. This is still very winnable for the side of Snek Pack. Everyone on full HP, while the side of Beasts are really... Oh, bind onto WAP! Will go down to the Kissante's Cupcake. And now this dragon should go over to the side of Snek. Even trade on kills, but they will get... Oh my god, another bind! Doesn't W! He didn't believe! He's not seen the Matrix. God damn. He took the wrong pill. He's not beginning to believe.
Yeah, Sushi Killer, no faith in his own abilities. Right there, he was like, surely this Dark Binding will not hit. It ends up hitting in the Tormented Ground. Just does not go down on time. You can see, like you said, Evo kind of gets stuck here between just everybody. Rock in a hard place right there. And a great, I think, flash as well coming out of Sushi Killer to follow up Nitrous to make sure the monkey does not live. And again, another great binding onto the WAP here. You can see, just sends it out, completely flies. Cybertop ends up getting the kill, and another great binding as well at the back end of that. Doesn't end up netting in a kill, but nonetheless, these two mid lane towers being down for the side of Beast opens the map up a lot more for the side of Snek Pack.
Yeah, and Cupcake is starting to look much more comfortable against the arena. Spaced perfectly to avoid the Oriole this time, only hitting on Prioso, which is the way you want it to go for the side of Snek. If you only hit Prioso with the Oriole, I think the fights will be quite advantageous. Also got a good Cassandra ult from Cybertop, isolating the Wukong in the fight.
Yeah, Cybertop, I think, for me as a player, one of his strengths is team fighting. I feel like there aren't often, or there aren't many times, where he sort of finds himself at a bad position in a team fight, but you can see the side lane still just going the way of Beast Team Esports. This Jax is unrelenting, and as well as going for the Zonias for his third item, just for a little bit more survivability in some of these elongated fights.
He probably wants to join the team fights, although Sonya's against Caitlyn, as we have mentioned, is a bit spooky, especially with Cupcake having his W script apparently, because he's never missed a trap in his entire life. But he does manage to pick up the bot turret now on a bit of tempo from the Cassante, which is starting to increase the split push. But so far, Cybertop has been doing really well, and there's no real pressure from the Jax to really solo kill or get like tier 2 or tier 3 turrets. Shutdown goes down in top lane to a gank from Night Fury onto Sushi Killer. So this might open up some windows, but they're trying to force back in mid. Red buff on Cupcake, they're chasing down, no summoners. That's a lot of damage. I think he could have almost gone for it, but it will be like a collapse from the Wukong on the left side.
I think they're less worried about the Wukong, more worried about Mongo Sky on the flank here. They saw him go missing, and immediately they decided to back away. Cupcake, yeah, he could have finished off the kill, but I think the call came out of Cybertop that, hey, this Jax is not here, be careful in the mid lane, and Cupcake has to back away there. And like we said, a great attempt to try to pick up Vadamori there, but no kill on the Sivir, at least this time.
Completely fine. I mean, they managed to dismantle the Baron threat from the pick on Sushi Killer. So they're just completely happy slowing it down, and they probably want to contest the next dragon. If they get that soul, I think they'll be in a pretty comfortable position. They also have the Belveth, which they kind of want to continue to scale. It's a bit on the back foot. I would really like to see 2 items on the Belveth. Ult coming out of K'Sante here, and there is Belveth. TP does come in from the side of Beast. There is Caitlyn ult. Caitlyn's also here. This will be a 3v2. Danny did with the Shockwave, but he has to flash out, re-engage, but Evo is slow, but has the E, manages to get out the shove, stopping Mongo Sky from finishing the kill, and there will be a full-fledged team fight. Cupcake Eing in, actually. There is Night Fury, so it's a bit scary. Does go for the Q, will get shunked down by Night Fury. That's an instant kill. No mobility left on the side of Cupcake, and Pryoson also getting cleaned by the Jax, and he's just dominating this game now.
Meanwhile, Vladimir in the mid lane is just collecting 3 towers here. Sushi Killer is gonna try to clear the wave. Unfortunately, it's so vulnerable to do so. Wow. He's gonna have to actually burn the ultimate. That is a big cooldown to burn, especially when Sushi Killer has got his ultimate of his own, which means the shackles and the chains that are gonna go to the rest of the team are gonna be permanent, at least for the moment. Baron now started up here as well. Evo is around, cannot jump over the wall because he does not have the evolved passive, but does have flash.
He will get it back. He will get it back. He will have it back, I think. We'll have to see. He's gonna try to walk around. He has a lot of dashes in him. He's trying to find the timing. Might just go onto the VAP here. Oh, Danny did with the ulti, trying to zone him out. He does have vision. He's looking for the flash. No, he's gonna give it over. He's fine with just giving the Baron and keeping his life in return. I think that's a completely fine play. I think it's generally not worth greeding too much for steals if you're on the back foot. And there is Dragon in 30 seconds, which they could try to pick that up on tempo if you based immediately instead of going for the contest.
Yeah, I think the big key is, like you said, the Dragon coming up. I don't think Sushi Killer wants to commit for it, or Evo doesn't want to commit for the flash, here. Just because the Dragon is going to be coming up.
Does get the ult maybe out of Cybertop. Here it is in the middle of the team. Jax will instantly go down. Sonya's there. Cupcake should have the trap. It is there. He's dead. Shut down over to Cupcake. Big pickup here for the Dragon. And they're on the right side of the map. They still have a lot of tools left to really fight this,
top side
battle. Oh, Evo fighting Vadimori. Yeah, or Vadimori is killing Evo. I'm not sure which.
I don't know what's happening.
But he's stuck now in the wrong side of the jungle, but it does pick up Evo, which is good. Now they have the smite steal potential from the side of Beast, and they're just going to push him mid, I think. Try and get an hit.
Oh this is such a chaotic fight.
They're going to get an inhib for this dragon, but there is a jungler, and they're scared of the smite steal. Vadimori just applying pressure. He's adapted the Jax mentality.
The solo Sivir in the mid lane split pushing.
And Cupcake's chasing
I think they can really threaten here, by the way.
Special. They're threatening an end almost. They're threatening an end almost. TP coming out of Sushi Killer to stop the threat, but missing Oriole, Cybertop juking it out, and they should secure Dragon, but there is the smite steal potential from Night Fury. He's still around. I don't think he sees the Dragon HP yet. Oh, they're kiting. There's TP from that's TP from Snek actually. Cybertop. Then it could be in a bad position here. Can't really catch up. Bit of an awkward fight. Evo's about to be back. This fight has been a minute long, but they have a low HP on the side of Beast, and they should be able to pick up soul here. They should not greed for the steal here. They should go for the fight in mid preferably, if anything. And they just dismantle the. This is a long fight.
Such a chaotic fight. It was a long sequence of events, and I think I gotta give props to Vadimori there. He just pulled the trigger in mid lane. He said, screw it, I don't want to go over there. And just ends up threatening to pretty much end the game there if they don't respect the Sivir. Sivir's got a lot of tower damage, especially with your W being an auto attack reset. You can really get off a lot of structure damage in a short amount of distance and space, which means they have to respect Vadimori in their base. End up opting in for the back. Unfortunately, the pressure doesn't end up being enough for them to get the Drake. It is going to be Mountain Soul as deck pack, and this is a little bit scary, I feel like, to fight against, because it is a lot of extra resistances with the double Mountain Drake plus the Soul Shield as well, just giving you that extra tankiness.
Definitely. I think it also helps Cybertop a bit in the silent, which is good, and having opted into Sonya's, the split pressure is a bit weaker from the Jax instead of opting into something like a Black Cleaver or more CDR and damage, or like a Blade. So it's good for him, and Binding coming out, Danny it does speed away. Also, the inhib going down is bad, but it is temporary, and it's also the mid inhib, which is the easiest to handle because you're still out there wave clearing mid almost always anyway. So it's kind of fine to give it. The worst part would be if they lost a Nexus turret. That would really threaten like a fast end on mid lane.
Yeah, that would be kind of rough, but both Nexus towers are still gonna live, at least for the moment. You can see Cupcake stepping up so far aggressively in the mid lane just because Ocon is right there. And still, yes, the side lane threat isn't as big with the Zonias, but there is never gonna be a spot where Cybertop can beat out Mongo Sky in an all-out 1v1. Although, as I say that, Cybertop not taking a lot of damage in the side lane.
Well, Manta Soul does make him impenetrable, so to say. Oh, here's the engage in the middle. A combo coming in, but Evo does dodge out, and Prioson having the E up doesn't take any damage. So Aura combo this time hitting, but not on the crucial players. Also using the Wukong ult, and if they want to, they could look to re-engage. They're going to try to siege bot lane here, which I'm not too sure about. Like, they're going to try to burn the turret, but we have the side of Snek rotating down, and they are lacking 2 ults on the side of Beast right now. If there is a big fight, I don't know if they're going to win it. Hunting down, they're chasing, they're a bit too fast. Oriana's gonna speed them out, so they're just gonna take the tower and dip.
I mean, it's a free tier 2, right? Still an extra 700 gold for them in their pockets. And so far, for a game 3, this is very even between these two teams. I can't really tell who's gonna take it. And so far, you do see a 6,000 gold lead for the side of Beast. I would love to see where that's coming from for the most part. I think it is gonna be the top lane. And then also the jungle actually is quite far ahead. Nightfury sort of has just been solo farming, has a lot of assists to his name as well. And Evo not having a great game for himself thus far, 1-4 on the Belvet. So it is mainly the top lane and the jungle where the gold is coming from for the side of the beast.
They're looking for an engage here. Will he go? He goes for the flash. Does ulti come out? They do give the cleanse from the WAP, and Shurelia's coming out. Oh, not Shurelia's. Only what did he? Ah, it's just the ulti. Also gets move speed.
Because a lot of movement speed.
They are out of it, but forcing ult is kind of good, but it is a flash from Pry Ozone. I feel like Snek want to rotate on the Jax, but they're not quite finding the window to go down because they don't want to give up the Baron spawning in 10 seconds.
Yeah, as well as like you said, it's a
Ooh,
lot
engage
of
onto
Cupcake.
Cupcake. Might be dead here, actually. And Vadimori is deep, but he has damage and he is dealing. No ADC on the side of Snek. Although Braum is blocking the damage.
Braum?
They're running in. They're trying to kite back on the side of Snek, but Vadimori is just running. Cybertop trying to peel, flashes out. They do pick up Pryozone. Getting a bit of that, but this could be an end easily here if they just focus on the turrets. Inhibitor going to spawn though, so they have to deal with that first.
Both inhibitors going to spawn.
Down onto Cybertop. Big CC. Oh, Evo trying to go for the play, almost killing the WAP. But the WAP not the prior target anyway. Morgana kind of dealing enough damage to dispel them from going from the end, which is huge play out of Sushi Killer and the top and jungler from side of Snek. Stopping the end is really good actually. Quite surprising being able to do it in a 3v5, but they will convert Baron instead of going for the end, taking the more safe play. And Cybertop is going to look for the ult here, I think.
I think Mongo Sky might be actually dead here. Cupcake
Mongo
is
Sky
gonna be
should
around.
be dead. Hopefully Cupcake can live it though.
Oh!
Does get killed by the Counter-Strike. A strong ability. It actually gets out as well. This Jack's showing up to be a true menace, and Sushkill is just going to die to... Oh, never mind. E from Braum. He's trying to help him. He's trying his best, but this should be the end now. 2 people dead. 3 people dead from the side, and they should just... Do they have any TPs? They don't have any TPs, but they should be able to just walk up and end the game. Only having Cybertop and Evo. No wave clear active, and Baron and super minions. Should be much harder this time to clear the wave.
Yeah, this is gonna have to be all Vadimori though. Danny 8 has no mana. Night Fury
Vadimori just has to out to the turret. There's no way to stop it. They're going for the Jax mentality, and they're dying just to the boomerangs from Vadimori. And unfortunately, a lost team fight in late game, and that means Snek Pack are out of it. The Beast team advance to the finals.
Beast team are going to be our one of 2 finalists. Of course, the other potential is between Black Manta and Gucci. I believe game is still ongoing from what I can see, and I mean, for me, Hacks, these were really interesting three games. I think we saw the series sort of evolve the more we went through. Both teams got one game. It's a really even series, I feel like, between these two teams. I feel like that last game could have gone to either of them at any point in the game, but it ends up being too much to handle, and Sushi Killer's Morgana mid lane not gonna be enough to get them the win today. And like you said, Beast Team Esports gonna take our series best of three, 2-1, and gonna advance onto the finals.
Showing strength, and definitely I think a lot of it going owing to Night Fear. But I think we still had a good showing from Snek, and they finally made their Caitlyn work. They got the plates, they got the pressure in lane, and it basically just comes down to these late game team fights and decisions. So I think it was really well played from both teams. I think we had a really good series, and going full amount of games always feels good.
Yeah, I think it definitely feels good just because it means both teams, have what it takes. It was a really even series, I feel like, and there was a lot of good moments out of both of these squads. And of course, it is gonna be, like I said earlier, between Black Manta and Gucci to decide who beasts are gonna be going up against. But Hax, what was your I want to ask you, what was your favorite game out of those three games? Did you prefer game one, two, or three?
I think I have to prefer game two because of the 0-12 Volibear just trooping it out against the Nocturne. It was tough to see, but he was a trooper. He did what he needed to do. So I think that has to be my favorite game. It also had a bit more action stuff happening. I think game one also was quite good, but I think game two was one of the more even games. Although the Nocturne did take over quite hard in the late game.
Yeah, I think that's definitely fair as well. How about your prediction on the other side of things, where Black Manta and Gucci are facing off at the moment? Who do you think the
I
Beasts are
actually
gonna run into in the finals?
I actually had my client open, so I had a look at the game state. So I'm not gonna predict the current game because then I would use information I already have. But regarding BLM and Gucci, I think it's gonna be close. I think on paper, Gucci probably should win it. I think they have slightly stronger players in certain roles, but I think it could go either way. I think similar to this game three, it's gonna come down to late game decision making.
I think that's definitely fair, but you still didn't give me a team.
A team?
I'm pushing you for a name. I'm
You want
pushing
a
you for a name.
name?
I'm pushing you for a name. I'm pushing you onto one of the teams.
Okay, I'm just gonna say BLM. I hope for my boys.
You hope for the boys.
I hope for the boys.
I mean,
I
yeah,
do think
that's
they have the players in the right roles, and I do think Linus has been playing really well most of those games. Like the first Darius game we saw from him was actually really good. He was one of the key reasons why they were able to keep themselves in the game and possibly win it. So I think they did lose the game in the end, but like he was a key factor, and I think if he keeps performing, they have solid chances of winning.
I mean, yeah, that's definitely fair enough. And at the end of the day, the finals don't really matter because Lek is the winner in all of our hearts, and he is truly the number one spot in all of our lovely hearts. But like you said, it is gonna be between Black Manta and Gucci for the finals, and I believe, if I'm not completely mistaken, the finals are gonna be played later today.
Yeah, and the semifinals are cast. So BLM Gucci are playing right now. So I don't know if the stream's still going. I
Yeah,
think so, and it's on
it
the
is.
Gucci channel if you want to keep watching some Manta Cup content. So go watch it out. I think it's twitch.tv/Gucci TV, if I'm not mistaken. You can also find it in the Discord if you follow that. I'm gonna double check that. Yeah, Gucci TV is the link.
Yeah, it is. So there
Maybe
are
we should
two
send it
streams on.
over. Should we send over our viewers to them maybe and send them we can't send the raid? Okay, we can't send the raid.
Unlucky.
But otherwise,
Unlucky.
please jump over. I can actually. Let's see.
There's a multilingual stream. There's one in German running on the Sanctuary channel at the moment, and there's
True.
one on the Gucci channel in English
Mhm.
as well. So if you happen to know German, which I don't, feel free to visit either of those channels. I think, are we allowed to post links in Twitch chat? Question mark.
Yeah, you put the okay. Peppercock put the good shit to you. Super. Yeah, that's super.
Okay.
I was about to do exactly that. So super. Go over there
Very
if you want to
nice.
keep watching it in English, and if you want to keep watching it in German, then Sanctuary has a stream for it as well.
Yeah, well, well, just because me and Hax are signing up for it doesn't mean you're not covered for Manta content. Manta content still very much so out there
Definitely. And
for
the finals,
your
as we
Beast Team.
mentioned, will be played 8 o'clock tonight. No, 7 o'clock. 7 o'clock tonight. Will the finals be between Beast Team and whoever is the winner of BLM versus Gucci?
We're gonna have to wait and see. 7 o'clock CET. Don't be here or be square. Don't be late. And like we said, either Black Manta or Gucci gonna face up against Beast Team Esports Hacks. Thank you very much for joining me for this quite long yet delightful series. Always fun to have you around. Thank you to everyone who tuned in. Hope to see you later on as well for our finals and the last game of our Manta Cup weekend coming to a close. But we're gonna see everybody here later today. Have fun. Don't hurt yourself. Have a good time, and we're gonna see you later.